The baseball universe. 62-year-old McCoy Stadium seats just more than 10,000 fans. All the tickets are long gone. It's the 2004 AAA All-Star Game. Names like Jeter, Pedro, Piazza, and Crawford have played in this game. Tonight, the first glimpse at the next generation of stars.
Justin Morrill, future Minnesota Twin.
Ben Hendrickson, future Milwaukee Brewer.
Craig Brazell, future New York Met.
It has been a big week in Rhode Island, and the hometown fans will get to see some of their own stars.
Andy Dominique.
Earl Snyder.
Pawtucket Red Sox.
And we'll share the stories of some veterans who continue to play on for the love of the game.
Trinidad Hubbard, Iowa Cubs.
Welcome to the 2004 AAA All-Star Game. ESPN2 welcomes you to Pawtucket, Rhode Island, to the AAA All-Star Game, featuring stars from the Pacific Coast League and the International League. At venerable McCoy Stadium, one of the charming features of this ballpark, murals of past Pawtucket Red Sox greats who have gone on to play in the major leagues, many of them stars. And tonight's ball players dreaming about someday finding themselves as stars in the major leagues. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Pawtucket, Rhode Island. I'm Sean McDonough, delighted to have you with us, as tonight we get a look at some of the best players just one step below the major leagues here in AAA baseball. We'll also tell you the story of one of the great success stories in all of professional sports, this Pawtucket Red Sox franchise back in the late 70s, a franchise that was bankrupt and playing a dilapidated ballpark, now hosting the showcase event for all of AAA baseball. I'm pleased to be joined tonight by Buck Martinez. And Buck, over the years, AAA baseball has changed considerably as well. It used to be predominantly stars. Now you do have some young stars who are prospects on the way up, but also some veteran players.
Well, it's a unique mix, Sean, as these franchises have become very good businesses for these smaller cities. Young players on the way up think they're just a step away from the big leagues, and Justin Morneau of the Minnesota Twins knows what that's like. He spent 40 games with the Twins last year, part of a month this year up in the big leagues, and the Twins believe that he could be their cleanup hitter and first baseman next year. John Gall, a great collegiate player at Stanford, is now with the St. Louis Cardinals, and he's learning to play left field. His power is developing as he gets more comfortable in professional baseball, and this may be the left fielder that the Cardinals are looking for.
There are only 11 players out of the 52 in this game tonight who are 25 years old or younger. There are 23 players in the ball game who are 28 years of age or older, and some of them are familiar names.
Well, they sure are, Sean. And Trinidad Hubbard is 38 years old, and he has more steals than anybody in this game. He can still hit, he can still run, and he's trying to tell the Cubs, hey, if you need some help, let me know, because I am hot down in AAA. And Ernie Young is another veteran as well, who has really put up big numbers, and he too is dreaming about one more shot at the big leagues.
So we have an interesting blend of young stars on their way up, older players perhaps on their way out, playing for the love of the game. A great night on tap here at McCoy Stadium in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. We'll tell you about some of the great names who have played in this game. Also the story of the Paw Sox franchise. Did you know there was once a minor league baseball game that went 33 innings here? And we'll look back at the festivities in Rhode Island during the past few days. All of that coming up tonight. The first pitch is next.
Airport?
Yes.
Well, my name is Jim.
I just love the smell of your limo, Jim.
Oh, yeah? Well, it's a new car.
I love that new car smell.
Yeah, I wish it was mine.
It smells so good, Jim, this leather. Right.
Here we are.
I'm going to put the polo match at 2, okay? Yeah. I know. Well, Mommy's going to meet me at the airport.
Hi, Tom Bodette for Motel 6. This is what one of our rooms looks like when you're sleeping. Just like those big fancy hotels. Only difference is ours won't cost you nearly as much money. We'll leave the light on for you. And a Accor Hotel.
Oh, my back.
Need some help?
Yeah.
Try my Bayer Back and Body.
Thanks, hon.
It's Bayer Aspirin plus a special pain relief booster. It works right where it hurts. Bayer Back and Body. Get moving again. pain-free.
ID?
I forgot my ID.
Can you do that again?
The X Games are coming to LA. Watch them live starting August 5th at 9 on ESPN. Presented by T-Mobile.
That's a silverback. You can see the silver right on the back. Oh, great. He's making a call. He's making a peak hour call!
Just hope you're not roaming.
Too many restrictions on your wireless plan?
You want some of this, monkey boy?
Come to T-Mobile and talk whenever, nationwide.
Whenever.
T-Mobile gives you the most whenever minutes. 1,000 for just $39.99.
T-Mobile, get more.
What do you call an exterior paint that goes on smoother, covers better, and offers great protection? Benjamin Moore calls it Harbor Haze. I call it new and improved. Benjamin Moore gives me the long-lasting beauty I want. And my Benjamin Moore dealer gives me the advice I need. Now I'm confident it'll get done right the first time. That's my kind of home improvement.
Call 1-800-6-PAINT-6 for the Benjamin Moore retailer near you.
Okay, we'd like you to try 2 frozen lattes. One is from a national chain of coffee shops, and the other is new from Dairy Queen.
This one's fantastic.
Looks like you chose the new DQ Latte. Great. Okay, you can give it back now. Test is over. Let it go.
The new DQ Mulate Frozen Blended Coffee, made with creamy DQ soft serve in 3 tempting flavors. Grab one and DQ something different.
Likes it a lot.
You've never seen anything like this before. Not that. This. The new Icy Hot Sleeve.
Introducing the new Icy Hot Medicated Sleeve, a breakthrough in pain relief. The Icy Hot Sleeve surrounds painful joints with concentrated pain relief that goes on icy to dull the pain, then gets hot to relax it away for hours. The new Icy Hot Sleeve, joint-hugging, stay-put pain relief for elbows, wrists, ankles, and knees.
The new Icy Hot Sleeve, hard-working pain relief.
Sport is sport. A foul's a foul. And a bat's a bat, even if it's flat. 10 feet on the west side is 10 feet on the east side. Football is football, unless it's football. Now a win's a win, a loss is a loss. But no matter what, you better come with it. Because it's 90 feet to first, no matter where home is.
ESPN2's AAA All-Star Game, brought to you by Dodge. Proud to be the sponsor of the AAA All-Star Game. Samsonite Company Stores, everything you expect and more. And Motel 6. For the lowest price of any national chain, call 800-4-MOTEL-6.
Welcome back live to McCoy Stadium in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. The final strains of the national anthem played by Richard Price of Riverside, Rhode Island, and now the cannons firing. Tremendously festive atmosphere here in Rhode Island over these last 3 days. And the festivities continue to the delight of the sellout crowd of more than 10,000 in attendance, including legendary Red Sox greats in the middle of your screen, Dominic DiMaggio and Bobby Doerr. Bobby Doerr in the royal blue blazer on the field. To the left of your screen, Ben Mondor, the 80-year-old patriarch of this Pawtucket franchise, the owner. Next to him in the baseball cap is Rhode Island Governor Donald Carcieri, who participated in the first pitch ceremony and has been at all of these events the last 3 days. And Pawtucket Red Sox President Mike Tamburo on the right of your screen in the blue golf shirt. What a remarkable job, Buck, they have done. Home Run Derby for celebrities and the Pacific Coast League and International League All-Stars Monday. Tremendous gala in downtown Providence, just to the south of Pawtucket last night. with remarkable activities. And then this event here tonight. This might be AAA, but everything about it has major league feel.
Without question, Sean. And you take it a step further with the wonderful luncheon they had to honor the players and to honor the teammates, as you mentioned, DiMaggio, Doer, and Pesky. But it was first class in everything they did here. And the game, I'm sure, will be a true cap to the way this whole week has gone. Every player, to a man, has told me how well they have been treated here at Pawtucket by this community, by the organization, the Pawtucket Red Sox, and it has been first class in every way.
And a standing ovation for Bobby Doer and Dominic DiMaggio as they came off the field. Johnny Pesky could not be here tonight after he did attend the luncheon in downtown Providence today with Governor Carcieri. Dominic DiMaggio and Bobby Doer both well into their 80s and still as spry and vibrant as can be. Well, it'll take a moment to clear the field and for the smoke to clear. When we come back, we'll have the first pitch from Pawtucket right after this.
Western Union has over 170,000 agent locations worldwide, so chances are there's one near you.
I just picked up cash for an air conditioner, and getting here was no sweat.
Wherever you need them, Western Union, the fastest way to send money worldwide.
From the international best-selling novels,
Bourne is a priority target.
comes the next chapter of the Bourne series. Jason Bourne is back.
We need snipers, EOD, whatever they got.
The Bourne Supremacy, rated PG-13, starts the power of trust. America's most credible news source, year after year. The power of reporting. More bureaus than any U.S. television news organization. The power of CNN. The most trusted name in news.
Brought to you locally by Mercedes-Benz of Laguna Niguel. Right place, right price, right now.
A research scientist, so when I got arthritis, I did some research. I found odor-free capsaicin. Its doctor-recommended ingredient attacks arthritis pain fast. And unlike the leading pain rubs, the longer you use it, the greater the relief. Capsaicin raises your level of relief.
I really don't know what to do. I mean, hot flashes, night sweats, I just feel awful.
Take one caplet of all-natural NuPhase every day. NuPhase has more of the plant estrogens clinically shown to reduce hot flashes and night sweats. NuPhase. Get more out of life.
You're there.
Well, we have stars of tomorrow and perhaps stars from well beyond tomorrow in attendance tonight here at McCoy Stadium. It's the AAA All-Star Game, and we're pleased to be joined down on the field by a gentleman who once played in this game, Kyle Peterson. Good evening, Kyle.
Thank you, Sean. Good evening to you. Yeah, back in 1999, got a chance to play in the AAA All-Star Game. That year, it was in New Orleans, and it's one of those times during the course of your career that's neat because you get a chance to meet a lot of guys you've played against over the course of your career. Now, for me, it went from there directly up to the big leagues. I was sitting in my hotel room in New Orleans, was on the internet, and found out I was pitching 5 days later against the Chicago White Sox. Now, stories start going every year at the All-Star Games as to who is potentially going to go up, and here there's plenty of them. One of those that could is a starting pitcher for the International League tonight, Ben Hendrickson. 2002 Minor League Player of the Year with the Brewers. The Brewers recently made a roster move, so tonight we'll see the Indians on the front of his jersey, and here in just a couple days it could be the Brewers on the front of that very same jersey, guys.
Yeah, we spoke with Ben in the clubhouse before the game today. He said he was aware of the rumors. He wasn't 100% sure that he was going up, but he was certainly well aware of the speculation.
Well, he has pitched in a game this year, got a spot start when Ben Sheets had some problems, and they moved his start back. So you can bet that there's a little bit more excitement with this young man as he goes to the mound tonight. This could be his last work in the minor leagues.
And the International League All-Stars take the field. They are the home team. Pawtucket is in the International League. And here is the starting lineup for the Pacific Coast League. Trinidad Hubbard, the center fielder from the Iowa Cubs. Clint Barnes, the shortstop. Joe Dillon is the third baseman. The cleanup hitter, first baseman Larry Sutton. Calvin Pickering is the DH. John Gall in left field. Then Ryan Church, the right fielder. Adam Morrissey is the second baseman. And Craig Ansman, the catcher from the Tucson Sidewinders. And he'll bat ninth against the aforementioned Ben Hendrickson. Hendrickson, just 23 years old. He's a native Minnesotan, born in St. Cloud, Minnesota. Makes his home now in Eden Prairie, just outside the Twin Cities.
He was called up in June to make a start for Milwaukee against the Dodgers. He and Edwin Jackson hooked up, two very talented young pitchers. You could see his record in Indianapolis. It's stellar. A 2.27 ERA, opponents hitting just over 250 against him. He throws two fastballs. He'll sink it and he'll cut it. He's got a great curveball and a very good changeup. This is one of the real promising Milwaukee Brewers farmhands that could bode well for their future. And they have turned the fortunes of that organization around in a very short time. Hendrickson is an important piece to the puzzle.
His 2.27 ERA, best in the International League at the All-Star break. And he's ready to go to work to Trinidad Hubbard. Mentioned the contrast in this game. And here it is, right with the first batter of the ball game, the 38-year-old Hubbard facing the 23-year-old Hendrickson. 19 years in professional ball for Trinidad, almost as long as Ben Hendrickson's been alive. And the first pitch of the night is a fastball for strike one.
Now, Trinidad Hubbard, we mentioned the fact that he has more steals than anyone in this game. He is 22 for 28 this season stealing bases. He keeps himself in phenomenal shape, and he said it's just the romance of the game, if you will, that keeps him around. He absolutely loves to compete and loves to be around these great young ball players. And he still says, you know what, I want to get back to the big leagues and one more stint in the postseason. He did that with the Rockies his first year.
1-2 pitch bounced up there. Andy Dominique is the catcher from the homestanding Pawtucket Red Sox.
Real good catch and throw guy that got a little cup of coffee with the Red Sox this year. Had 10 at-bats in Boston.
Line foul into the seats.
Dodgers, that's where Trinidad Hubbard spent some time in the big leagues. He also played for the Atlanta Braves. Had time in Colorado. And he has done a decent job. He's played 476 major league games and would love an opportunity at the age of 38 to get back to the big leagues.
9 teams for Hubbard over those 476 games. Dodgers, Braves, Orioles, Rockies, Giants, Indians, Royals, Padres, Cubs. And he walks, fell behind in the count, and then worked Hendrickson for a leadoff walk. An 8-pitch at bat. The defense behind Ben Hendrickson this evening for the International League All-Stars. They have Lou Collier in left field, Midre Cummings in center field, and Ernie Young in right. Earl Snyder is the third baseman, Johnny Peralta at short, Brian Nelson at second, Justin Morneau at first, and Andy Dominique is the catcher. And Clint Barmas of the Colorado Springs Sky Sox looked at a strike. That's the Colorado Rockies affiliate. He's just 22 years old. Ball down and away, 1 ball and 1 strike.
And they thought that Barmas would be a utility player eventually, but each year he's played, he's gotten better, and now they think he might be an impact shortstop.
He made solid impact on that fly ball down the left field line. Collier into the corner, and it's a foul ball. Home run distance, but foul. And a long strike for Barmas, who did see some major league time last year with Colorado. Got into 12 games as a September call-up. He led the Pacific Coast League in doubles last year with 35.
Very difficult to translate numbers from AAA into big league projections, but you can see the life in his bat as the ball really jumped off his bat. This is the Baseball America's scouting report. Good speed and instincts on the bases. Strong arm strength. We don't think that he has range, but he's getting range
each year he plays a little better as he understands more about getting jumps. And naturally, that last line you can pretty much say about any minor leaguer. Needs to be more selective at the plate. They're so anxious to hit, they're not patient and selective all the time.
He's out of Indiana State. Drafted in 2000. He's called out on strikes on a borderline pitch.
Well, Andy Dominic, the catcher, was set up inside. The target called for an inside fastball, and Hendrickson pulls it all the way across the plate, but it still gets the outside corner. First strikeout of the game for Hendrickson.
You mentioned when he went up to make the start earlier this year against the Dodgers, he told us he was very tight in the first inning, and I imagine he might be nervous here tonight on national television in front of the sellout crowd and pitching against the very best AAA players, including Joe Dillon, Albuquerque Isotopes, the AAA affiliate of the Florida Marlins. Originally a draft choice of the Kansas City Royals. There's a guy who was out of baseball last year. He injured his back, underwent surgery, retired, coached at Texas Tech. Had some contacts in the Marlins system, and some friends advised him to give pro ball another try. He has, and he's had a great year, hitting .355. Hubbard runs. Dominique's throw not in time. A one-hop throw. And Brian Nelson couldn't get the tag on in time, so a stolen base for the 38-year-old Hubbard.
Just a little short of the mark with Dominique's throw. It's a short hopper. Look at Hubbard take a peek at the catcher, and when Brian Nelson had to scoop the short hop, it allowed Hubbard to slide that hand in safely at second.
And a high fly ball to left for Lou Collier, who played here in Pawtucket for the Paw Sox last year. He hit a home run in the AAA All-Star game last year. He made the catch for the second out.
The first baseman, number 32, Larry Sutton.
Well, it's an honor for the players, and of course it's an honor for the umpires. They're the very best of AAA. Bob Bainter is the home plate umpire. Casey Moser at first, Darren Spagnardi at second, and Greg Chittenden at third. And they were enjoying all of the festivities.
Absolutely.
We ran into Bob Bainter with his wife last night at the Rhode Island State House. A little nubber down the line for Larry Sutton, and he beats it out. Good effort by the third baseman, Earl Snyder, but he couldn't get Sutton. For an infield hit, the first hit of the ball game, and they have first and third with 2 outs.
There's a little swinging bunt down the third baseline, and Earl Snyder makes a good throw, but it's not in time. Justin Morneau has to come off the bag to guard against that ball going down the right field line. We talk about Dillon being out of baseball for a year. Same for Larry Sutton as he underwent knee surgery and said he really missed the game. Just sitting out first time in 20 years. He had a summer to himself outside of baseball.
Now big Calvin Pickering at 260 pounds. He took a ball up and away. He had some major league time with Baltimore, Cincinnati, and Boston. Now with the Omaha Royals, Kansas City's AAA affiliate. He opened last year in the Mexican League. And he's another guy who missed an entire season. 2 years ago, 2002, missed the entire year while recovering from surgery to repair a torn quad muscle. Line foul out of play. 2 balls and a strike. Among the career highlights for Calvin Pickering, a home run as an Oriole off Pedro Martinez.
He had a lot of power, and that was a pretty good pitch from Pedro down and away, but Pickering is so strong he powered it out to center field at Fenway.
One of his 6 major league home runs. He's appeared in 53 major league games with the Orioles, Reds, and Red Sox. Having a great year. How about those numbers at the All-Star break?
Pretty good numbers in a pretty big ballpark in Omaha with the Kansas City Royals. And he's one of those guys that just said, you know what, I just need to get my stroke together, and I've got the power to succeed.
And he has an RBI here, a little looping base hit in the center. Hubbard on to make it 1-0 in favor of the Pacific Coast League.
Well, those last two hits haven't been scalded off Ben Hendrickson, and this looks like that curveball, and he gets it off the end of the bat, but Pickering is so strong. He muscles it into center field. That chases home in the first run of the ball game and brings a big smile to Calvin's face. Pat Listash, the coach for the All-Star team, also in Des Moines with Trinidad Hubbard.
Little pop fly, dropping fast in shallow left center, in for another hit and a run. John Gall from Memphis with a blue pit. And Hendrickson wonders what is going wrong here. A little bleeder down the third base line, and back-to-back blue pits into the outfield. And the Pacific Coast League leads 2-0.
Now Mike Griffin, the Paw Sox pitching coach, has come out to try to help Hendrickson regroup. He said, hey, you know what? You're making some pretty good pitches here, young man. And he has made a good pitch to Larry Sutton, a little swing and bunt up the third baseline. Pickering hit a curveball off the end of the bat, and John Gall got jammed.
Here's the seventh batter of the first inning, Ryan Church, the starting right fielder from the Edmonton Trappers. And he takes a strike. They're a Montreal Expos affiliate. 25-year-old Church from California. He's no stranger to minor league all-star teams. He hits a fly ball to left. And Collier the catch. That ends the inning. But the Pacific Coast League has a 2-0 lead after a half inning in Rhode Island.
We think it might be catching on.
Hi, Mr. Riley. Come on in.
Thank you. But maybe it's just us.
Oh, my back. Need some help?
Yeah.
Try my Bayer Back and Body.
Thanks, hon. It's Bayer Aspirin plus a special pain relief booster. It works right where it hurts. Bayer Back and Body. Get moving again. Pain-free.
Okay, we'd like you to try 2 frozen lattes. One is from a national chain of coffee shops, and the other is new from Dairy Queen.
This one's fantastic.
Looks like you chose the new DQ Latte. Great. Okay, you can give it back now.
Test is over. Let it go.
The new DQ Latte frozen blended coffee, made with creamy DQ soft serve in 3 tempting flavors. Grab one and DQ something different.
Likes it a lot.
Today, you're a super painter with the amazing Wagner Wide Shot Power Painter. Fast and neat. It lets you paint up to 12 inches wide in one pass. The Power Painter. One of the ways Wagner gives you more power, because there's always something that needs painting. Wagner. Paint fast. Paint smart.
Field advantage. Will you fear it or feast on it? NCAA Football 2005. Rated E for everyone. EA Sports. It's in the game.
Well, there's festive atmosphere, and then maybe a little more festive than we need. The Pacific Coast League with a 2-0 lead over a half inning. The International League lineup is Midre Cummings in center field, Johnny Peralta at shortstop, Justin Morneau at first, Joe Vitiello the DH, Ernie Young in right field, Earl Snyder at third base. The rest of the lineup, as you saw, Lou Collier, Andy Dominique, and Brian Nelson. And Dan Haren is the starting pitcher, pitching with the 2-0 lead. He works to Midre Cummings, just as the PCL had a veteran leadoff man. The same is true for the International League tonight. Cummings with plenty of major league experience. Chops one in the hole on the right side, and Larry Sutton's throw goes behind the pitcher Haren, and down to second goes Cummings.
That's simply one of the hazards of playing an all-star game, because you don't know your first baseman, and Larry Sutton throws this ball behind Danny Haren, and he can't make a play on it. He looks away to get the bag, and you can see he takes his eye off the ball before he caught it. And then the catcher, Craig Ansman, overran the ball, and that allowed Cummings to go to second. There you see his starts at Memphis, 18 starts, 8-4 record.
And the number that really jumped out there, Buck, the strikeouts. He leads the Pacific Coast League with those 124 Ks.
Yeah, he's got a great arm, a couple of different fastballs. He sinks it, cuts it, and he throws a very good split finger pitch.
Foul ball from Johnny Peralta. If you're looking for top prospects in this game tonight, here's one of them, Peralta at Buffalo in the Cleveland Indians organization.
You can see he's just 22 years old and played last year filling in for Omar Vizquel at shortstop and did a heck of a job, and he's tearing up the International League. Take a look at the Baseball America scouting report. He raised his average 41 points in the last 2 seasons. Great hands, great arm. And they say he lacks quickness to the ball, but he will learn that as he gets more comfortable.
Lost that to shallow left, and a sliding catch made by Gall. Nice basket catch made by John Gall on the wet outfield grass. We've had a lot of rain here the last few days, including some drizzle leading up to game time.
John Gall played first base and third base, a little bit of outfield at Stanford, and then he got into pro ball, and the Cardinals said, you know what, we got a pretty good first baseman. I think maybe you should think about playing in the outfield. And he says, yeah, Albert's over at first base, so he's worked hard on developing his skills in left field.
Work that seems to be paying off. Here's another top prospect in Justin Morneau, the native Canadian, just 23 years old, from British Columbia, near Vancouver. Major league time last year with the Minnesota Twins. Member of the Rochester Red Wings.
Do you remember any organization developing as many big, good hitters as the Minnesota Twins? Seems like every year they come up with a new, big, strong, strapping hitter. This year, Joe Mauer, the catcher, and Justin Morneau is destined to help them this year and maybe for a long time. This is last year against Kansas City. It's his first major league home run into the fountain in right center, and that's testimony to his upside potential. This guy's got a tremendous amount of power.
Hit 4 homers in 106 at bats last year with Minnesota. In an interesting situation, if he's still in the minors on August 1st, he's going to go to Athens and play in the Olympics for Team Canada. And I asked him before the game, well, would you rather be in the major leagues or in the Olympics? He said, well, I've been here all year, so what's a few more days? I guess I'd rather just stay here and experience the Olympics and then worry about going to the major leagues down the road. He's out on the bouncing ball down to Joe Dillon at third. Cummings still at second. Here's the defense for the Pacific Coast League. Gall, Hubbard, and Church in the outfield. Dillon, Barmas, Morrissey, and Sutton the infield, and Craig Ansman from Tucson is the catcher. And you can understand that. Justin Morneau wants to play for his country. He's a very proud Canadian.
Well, and Canada didn't expect to make it to the Olympics, and they got in by finishing second in the qualifying tournament. So he said, you know what, I'm going to be in the big leagues for a long time, and it might not happen again that I get a chance to play in the Olympics. And I think it's a pretty good decision.
He's on the major league club. He cannot go. Here's Joe Vitiello, another guy with plenty of major league experience. And from just up the road in Massachusetts, has about 15 friends and family members here tonight. He's out on the bouncer to Adam Morrissey at second, and that ends the inning. So the error on Larry Sutton does not hurt. Coming up, before they were major league stars, they were AAA All-Stars. We'll show you what they looked like before they hit the big leagues when we return.
Hi, honey. How are you? Good. How are the kids? Oh, that's wonderful. No, I just think we're going to make an early night of it. Yeah, Daddy's so tired he's already asleep. Uh-huh. Okay, sweetheart. Okay, good night. Kisses.
The Los Angeles flight only has one window seat.
Hey, I thought that was you.
The X Games are coming to LA. Watch them live starting August 5th at 9 on ESPN. Presented by Right Guard.
Jim Brewer here. Gonna show you how the new Right Guard Extreme Power Caps work. Power Caps are little balls of extra odor fighters. Let's say these guys represent odor, and the balls my friend Randy Johnson has here represent the Power Caps. Power Caps destroy odors on contact. Get extreme, get Right Guard. You do not want to be odor right now.
Now, Right Guard has the strongest gel. It even keeps you drier than a stick.
Hey, buddy, ready to go?
The right genes make all the difference. Introducing Genworth Financial, built on GE heritage, now creating our own legacy.
Overcast and cool here in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. The temperature just 68 degrees. After one inning in this AAA All-Star Game, 2-0 Pacific Coast League. Derek Jeter played in the AAA All-Star Game in 1995 at Scranton. It was a memorable debut in this ball game for Derek. He doubled off of future Major League All-Star Jason Isringhausen, then stole third. He was playing then for the Yankees AAA club Columbus. Hit .317 that year. The next year, he was the American League Rookie of the Year.
Some people are just meant to be stars, and they're stars wherever they play, and certainly Derek Jeter has been that.
Adam Morrissey, one of the International League players, international players in this game from Australia. Plays for the Sacramento River Cats. What a AAA franchise that is in your hometown. They draw about 900,000 fans a year, usually at the top of AAA baseball and attendance, the Oakland A's affiliate.
It's always been a great baseball town with a lot of players coming out of Sacramento, and now it's become a great franchise for AAA baseball.
Talked for a while that Oakland might move up to Sacramento a few years ago. That has since died down, obviously. Well, a lot of players, including Derek Jeter in last night's Major League All-Star Game, also played in the AAA All-Star Game. Mike Piazza, Todd Helton, and Carl Crawford among them. Crawford played just 2 years ago, showed that blazing speed that has helped him become one of the very best stolen basemen now in Major League Baseball for Tampa Bay. Morrissey a leadoff walk against Ben Hendrickson. And here's the #9 hitter, Craig Ansman, catcher from Tucson, the Arizona Diamondbacks AAA club. Hendrickson misses low. Ben labored in the first inning through 26 pitches. The leadoff batter, Trinidad Hubbard, set the tone with an 8-pitch walk. There were 3 hits in the inning, all of them really bloop hits. A double play ball to short. And they turn it. Peralta to Nelson to Morneau.
Well, we told you about Johnny Peralta's good hands, and he makes an easy play of this bouncing ball at shortstop. The underhand toss to Brian Nelson, who makes quick work of it. Justin Morneau, with that big 6'5" frame, can stretch it out and pull it in.
So 2 outs. The base is empty. This is going to be Hendrickson's last inning if all goes according to the plan. And here's Hubbard, who drew the leadoff walk, stole second, and scored the first run last inning. 2 runs, 3 hits, and an error for the PCL. No runs, no hits, no errors for the International League. They are the two remaining AAA leagues. It used to be the old American Association, but back in the late 90s, that league broke up. Some of the franchises moved into each of these two leagues.
Now they've become great franchises in cities like Pawtucket, Sacramento, all around the country. Buffalo's got a beautiful downtown ballpark, and they've become very good businesses. And Sean, you know Ben Mondor very well, and the guy that brought this team back from bankruptcy, basically, and he has certainly been honored in this community throughout this entire week.
Well, today is Ben Mondor Day in the state of Rhode Island. That's what a big event this AAA All-Star game is. And Ben says this might be his last hurrah. He has not been in good health. He, as we mentioned earlier, is 80 years old. And what a legacy this is for Ben Mondor. Mike Tamburo, his president, who's been with him from the beginning in 1977. Ball driven down the right field line by Barmas. Out of play. After Hubbard walked again. 1977, this was bankrupt. The stadium was falling apart. It was likely no longer going to be a team here. In stepped Ben Mondor. People told him he was crazy to even get involved in this. In 1999, the stadium underwent about a $16 million renovation. They added 2,000 seats. The clubhouses that we saw are better than many in the major leagues.
Big league.
Skyboxes built, all kinds of upgrades throughout the park, and it has become one of the great franchises in all the professional sports. Barmas out on the pop-up after an inning and a half. 2-0 Pacific Coast League.
This year, Allstate is proud to continue a great Olympic tradition, winning. Go to AllstateGoUSA.com right now, and you could win one of 5 new Cadillacs or other great prizes. That's AllstateGoUSA.com.
There's an easier way to get a 6-month supply of clean, great-tasting water. Pure water filters. Bottled water quality right from your faucet. Pure water filters. Your water should be...
Hi, I'm Jim Bellino, president of PoolTablesUSA.com. We are the factory outlet for the largest USA pool table manufacturer in the world, American Heritage. And we're overstocked, which means up to 70% off for you. Here's an example. American-made pool tables with a lifetime warranty as low as $9.95. Or furnish your entire game room with the Bellino collection. Pool table, deluxe accessory package, pub table and chairs, and a custom wall rack for only $22.95. That's PoolTablesUSA.com, right along the 55 freeway at Dyer.
I am a carnivore. My ancestors fought volcanoes, dinosaurs, and great woolly mammoths. Without fur, fangs, or claws, we battled our way to the top of the food chain and emerged victorious. This is my birthright. This is my legacy.
Now at AM/PM, get 2 tasty corn dogs for just 99 cents.
Knows you are more.
ESPN2's AAA All-Star Game. Brought to you by the best seats for every game. No tickets required. It only happens in one place. Only Vegas. And Samsonite Company stores. Everything you expect and more.
2-0 Pacific Coast League here in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. First time this franchise has ever hosted the AAA All-Star Game, which began back in 1988. Pacific Coast League had a 4-game winning streak in this event until last year. The International League won the ball game in Memphis. And Haren's first pitch of the second, a ball to Ernie Young, the 35-year-old veteran. Now playing for Cleveland's AAA team in Buffalo. 1 ball and 1 strike on Ernie Young. Haren had an easy first inning. They had 1 base runner on an error by the first baseman Larry Sutton. And Haren is a big guy, 6'5", 220 pounds. Just 23 years old, from California. Pitched collegially at Pepperdine University. He was also a very good hitter. But he went there to hit. They really made him into a pitcher. Young, a fly ball to left. Caught by Haren's Memphis teammate, John Gall, out in left field. And somewhere out there in the field, we find our Kyle Peterson.
Thank you, Sean. We're riding out here in the PCL bullpen. I'm with Jamie Wright, starting pitcher for the Omaha Royals. And Jamie, you're going to go in the 5th inning tonight. What's the difference as a starter reliever when you come into these games as far as getting ready?
Everything's out of whack right now. Basically, sitting down here hanging out. The arm's getting cold. We're going to have to loosen them back up a little bit. Stretch the legs. Go out there and try not to embarrass the family.
All right, now you're a starting pitcher down here in the bullpen. You haven't been down here too much. You having fun down here? You feel out of place down here? I mean, what are we feeling down here?
I'm in the presence of all these studs here. I mean, I just don't want to take anything away from them. We got a guy warming up right now. He's going to go in and go into domination mode here in a second, and that's what we're all going to try to do.
All right, we're going to turn around Flores here quick. All right, Ron Flores, reliever of the Sacramento River Cats. Tell us what happens in the bullpen during the course of a normal game. What goes on down here?
You wouldn't even believe. You got 2 or 3 hours to kill every single day. Some of the conversations can get really crazy. The topics just are as diverse as can be. It's that's why pretty much every bullpen guy is as weird a guy as it gets in the baseball field.
Ron, what's the last couple days been like in Pawtucket? The city's put on a real good show for everybody. Have you enjoyed yourself here?
It's been awesome. It's my first ever all-star appearance or anything like that, and this town has just gone out of its way to make us so welcome. The whole thing yesterday with the water fire and all that whole deal was just unbelievable. It's been a real good time so far.
Ron, thanks for your time. Jim, thanks for your time. Back to you guys.
All right, Kyle, thank you. Earl Snyder from Pawtucket flied out while the gentlemen were chatting. Luke Collier now at the plate. They are very proud here in Rhode Island. Pawtucket just north of Providence. Little squibber down the line. Haren takes the feed from Sutton. That ends a 1-2-3 inning. 2 strong innings from Dan Haren.
Look, dear Prilosec OTC guys, what's so different about Prilosec OTC? Signed, the frequent heartburn guy next to you.
Whoa, big difference. Look here. It's the only OTC that directly shuts down lots of those acid-producing pumps in your stomach. That's why it's the only OTC that can work for 24 hours with 1 pill a day. Awesome.
1 pill a day, 24 hours, 0 heartburn. Get up. Come on. Get up. Come on, come on. Get up. Get up.
The Los Angeles flight only has 1 window seat.
Hey, I thought that was you.
The X Games are coming to LA. Watch them live starting August 5th at 9 on ESPN. Presented by T-Mobile.
What do we have?
Cell phone bill. He's in shock.
He's just a kid.
Coming through, make a hole.
Responsive. BP 125 over 82.
These wireless bills are an epidemic. How bad is it?
It's riddled with peak hour charges.
Traumatized by your high wireless bill?
Look at it, long distance and roaming. Okay, people.
Take your number to T-Mobile and call whenever, wherever.
I'm feeling better.
Oh.
Now get 1,000 whenever minutes, no long distance or roaming charges, just $39.99.
T-Mobile, get more.
And we welcome you back to the AAA All-Star game in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Heading to the 3rd inning, the Pacific Coast League with a 2-0 lead. And a new pitcher for the International League from the Charlotte Knights, Chicago's AAA affiliate, Felix Diaz.
Diaz was with the White Sox until Maglio Ordonez was activated. They used his spot to bring Ordonez back off the DL. Diaz at Charlotte 8-2 this year with a very good ERA, 3.38. He made 4 starts for the White Sox this year, 1-2 record in the big leagues.
23 years old from the Dominican Republic. Signed originally by the San Francisco Giants organization. Joe Dillon fly to left his first time up. And Hendrickson, the starter for the International League, pitched 2 innings, allowed 2 runs on 3 bloop hits. Walked 3, including Hubbard twice. Struck out 1. He threw 41 pitches. Who knows? Could be his last minor league appearance ever. We mentioned the rumors are flying around that he's going to be called up within the next day or so by the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah, they need a spot 5 days after the resumption of the season tomorrow, and nothing has been said. He hasn't talked with the ball club, but speculation is he will get the call, as he has absolutely torn up and dominated his league. He had an earlier start against the Dodgers back in June. As Sean mentioned, he said he was a little bit tight when he went to the mound that first time. Gave up 2 runs in the first inning on a Paul LaDuca single.
After a little work on the bat, Dillon back in the box, and the 3-1 from Diaz is bounced down to third. Earl Snyder from Pawtucket. 1 out.
See pretty good movement from Diaz on his fastball, as he really has the ability to get a lot of quick outs. They love his arm. It's just a matter of a little more experience and a little more command of the strike zone before he is back to Chicago and helping them as they pursue that American League Central title.
There's Larry Sutton. He had an infield hit on a chopper down the third baseline. In the first inning, he scored the 2nd run of the ball game. Brief action with Florida earlier this season.
Got away with a high changeup there. Larry Sutton's a veteran hitter that won't miss too many of those high changeups, but Diaz got it by him that time.
Sutton, time in the major leagues with the Royals, the Cardinals, the Athletics, and the Marlins. And 34 years old, out of the University of Illinois. Oh, good change up there. First strikeout for Diaz. 2 down here in the 3rd. Major League Baseball returns tomorrow night. Thursday night baseball, and Miguel Tejada back in action after his home run derby triumph Tuesday night in Houston. Victor Zambrano on the mound for the Devil Rays. They're just 6.5 games behind the Red Sox in the wild card chase. Baltimore and Tampa Bay.
A lot of people thought Victor Zambrano should have made the All-Star team with his first half. Lou Piniella is one of them. He threw the ball well, and the Tampa Bay Devil Rays team dramatically improved with stars like Carl Crawford and Rocco Baldelli.
After a dreadful start, the trip to Japan seemed to have quite a negative impact on both the Yankees and the Devil Rays.
Boy, it sure did. And it really took them a long time to get over that. You know, the interruption of spring training really took its toll on both those clubs.
Alvin Pickering takes a strike. 1-2 on the big DH, who singled to center. A bloop hit to drive in the first run in the first inning.
Diaz ran away from his delivery there, and his arm was way behind his body, and it just ran right down and away out of the strike zone.
Felix signed originally by San Francisco, traded to the White Sox in a deal that involved Kenny Lofton at the trade deadline in 2002. Ernie Young the catch. Pickering out. A 1-2-3 inning for Diaz. Well, Miguel Tejada, you have competition. We'll look back at Monday's home run derby here and see who broke down the fences at McCoy Stadium.
Yeah, hi. I was wondering, can I get a wake-up call tomorrow morning, please? 8:30 a.m. Yeah. The thing is, I was wondering, can I get that to go to my cell phone instead of my room? Oh. Well, here's the thing. I'm not quite sure if I'm gonna be in my room tomorrow, so I just thought if you could call my cell phone, it would cover all bases.
please?
Okay, we'd like you to try 2 frozen lattes. One is from a national chain of coffee shops, and the other is new from Dairy Queen.
This one's fantastic.
Looks like you chose the new DQ Latte. Great. Okay, you can give it back now.
Test is over. Let it go.
The new DQ Mulate frozen blended coffee, made with creamy DQ soft serve in 3 tempting flavors. Grab one and DQ something different.
Likes it a lot.
Today, you're a super painter with the Wagner Paint Crew. It's built for big jobs with an extra long hose that gives you the reach you need. The innovative Paint Crew. One of the ways Wagner gives you more power, because there's always something that needs painting. Wagner. Paint fast. Paint smart.
Western Union has over 170,000 agent locations worldwide, so chances are there's one near you.
I just picked up cash for an air conditioner, and getting here was no sweat.
Wherever you need them, Western Union, the fastest way to send money worldwide.
Kumar. Was it like 5 O's or 2 U's?
If you've ever been picked on,
They're having the good old American names like Dave, you know? Harold.
Put down.
Have you seen a Korean guy around here?
Yeah, only when I open my eyes, though.
And misunderstood.
I'm telling you, those guys love crunching numbers. Probably just made his weekend.
Then we have a movie for you on July 23rd at a special sneak preview. See what all the buzz is about.
Well, what are you in here for?
For being black.
And I have 2 gay fathers.
Harold and Kumar go to White Castle. Rated R. Sneak preview July 23rd.
Sean McDonough, Buck Martinez, Kyle Peterson. Back in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, the AAA All-Star game heading to the bottom of the 3rd inning, and the new pitcher for the Pacific Coast League is Dave Williams from the Nashville Sounds.
25-year-old Dave Williams made 18 starts for the Pittsburgh AAA affiliate. Opponent's hitting just .261, and you can see he's not really an overpowering pitcher. He'll rely an awful lot on getting ground ball outs and quick resolution to at bats. You can see his fastball there, just 83 miles an hour.
He follows Dan Haren, the starter, who was very impressive. Pitched 2 hitless innings. Pitch in on the feet of Andy Dominique. Pawtucket Red Sox playing in his home ballpark. Very popular player here. And he rips one down the line, but hooking foul.
Well, obviously, Dominique gets a chance to play in front of the home crowd here, and he just about left the yard. Just out in front of that Dave Williams pitch, pulled it foul, but certainly had home run distance. What a nice turnout they've had all week here for the home run contest. They had a celebrity home run contest, and it was a great turnout.
Dominique pops it up in the other direction along the right field line. Adam Morrissey to catch. 1 out. And speaking of the home run derby, with more on that, here's Kyle.
Thank you. I'm here with Bucky Jacobson, won the home run derby yesterday. Bucky, we're going to show some of the home runs right now, but you look like you were locked in. How do you feel in those things, and how do you prepare?
Well, I just go out there and don't really do a whole lot different. I mean, it just comes down to whether the guy throwing the pitch is in there, if he's throwing it in your happy zone, and if you hit one, if you can throw it in that same spot again. And I feel pretty confident. This is the first time I've ever been in one and had somebody that weighed more than I did, so I had a little something to worry about, but it worked out in the end.
220 in the program is the listed weight. Can we talk about that for a minute? What are we weighing in at these days?
220, no chance. Yeah, I'm at like 275 now.
All right, now we started together in rookie ball. You have put up outstanding numbers for the last couple of years, and now put yourself in a position to potentially be called up by Seattle. What would it mean to get a chance after 8 years in minor leagues, to get a chance to play in the big leagues?
Yeah, I mean, it's something I've been working for a long time, working hard, and I never really let myself get down when it seemed like there was hurdles in front of me. And to be able to play for my hometown team would be unbelievable. I mean, I grew up watching the Mariners, and you know, just so to be able to get up there and watch Edgar Martinez go about his business, stuff like that would be unbelievable.
Well, Bucky, thanks for joining us, man. Congratulations. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Kyle.
Guys.
Well, he talked about balls in his happy zone. He had 12 of them. He hit some bombs. Ben Mondor, the owner here, was saying some of the longest home runs he's ever seen. And one of them went over everything out there in the outfield and smashed the windshield of a news van from one of the local stations here in the Providence market. Bryant Nelson strikes out. 2 down here in the 3rd with the AAA All-Star game in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, the Pacific Coast League and the International League. McCoy Stadium sold out, and it has been for months. A lot of the players said they were trying to get tickets for friends and family members who live in this area, to no avail. Adre Cummings to shallow left, and John Gall to catch. A 1-2-3 inning for Williams. 9 straight hitters have gone down for the International League.
It's a special edition of ESPN's Sunday Night Baseball at 6 p.m. Eastern. NL West rivals meet in the desert as Paul LaDuca and the Dodgers hope to give record-setting closer Eric Gagne a chance to shut the door on Steve Finley and the Diamondbacks. Dodgers versus Diamondbacks, Sunday at 6. Then, the action shifts to Hollywood for the ESPY Awards at 9 p.m. Eastern, Sunday on ESPN.
We're gonna rock this joint. 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 We're gonna rock this joint tonight. That's right.
Cox Communications and TV Land present this classic Brady Bunch moment. Has your phone bill hit the stratosphere?
Well, it's phone bill.
I know it's the phone bill. Take a look at the grand total this month.
Oh, no!
Oh, yes. I thought that was a national debt.
Don't miss the Brady Bunch on TV Land. Get Cox Digital Telephone and watch your savings add up.
Save a bunch on your phone bill every month. It's easy to do. Simply switch to Cox Digital Telephone today.
Bell.
As Kyle Peterson mentioned, Bucky Jacobson was the winner of the home run hitting contest Monday night here. It also featured a celebrity home run hitting contest. Big Sam Horn, the former Red Sox slugger who played here in Pawtucket. The spaceman Bill Lee took his cuts. That one made me happy. I was on his team. That was my major contribution of the night right there, cheering on Bill, who won the individual championship, scored the most points. What a fun night that was. Although I think when they invited all these celebrities, they thought only a few would want to take some hacks. The rest of us would be chickens, and that was my contribution to all this.
First time I've seen an 18-man lineup.
Now that might be still going on. They thought it would be over early. It went on for more than 2 hours, and to the point where, unfortunately, by the time it ended and the regular home run hitting contest for these All-Stars ended, the Rhode Island Philharmonic was waiting to play, couldn't play because it started to rain.
Yeah, it was a great event, and the celebrity turnout was remarkable. The people that came on board to help out this organization.
Doug and Darren Flutie were here. The Fairley brothers, who make those hilarious movies, were also from this area. Basketball coaches Pete Gillen and Jim Barron of the University of Rhode Island. Brian Berard from the National Hockey League. Joey McIntyre sang the national anthem, one of the former New Kids on the Block, now having a terrific solo career. A lot of old Red Sox players. Dwight Evans was here, and they all said the same thing. They came for Ben Mondor.
Yeah, it's pretty consistent how they came back without much coaxing just to support Ben Mondor on the Paw Sox. So there's Joe Morgan, the former Red Sox manager.
Managed here for forever in Pawtucket. He thought he would never get the chance to manage at the major league level. And of course, it was only as an interim manager he took over John McNamara at the All-Star break. He thought he'd have the job for a couple of days, and they ran off 11 straight wins, and they had to make him the manager. And what a popular man he is, both here in Pawtucket and still up in Boston. John Gall out in the pop-up to Johnny Peralta. One out here in the 4th inning. Buddy Bailey is the current manager in his 7th year managing the Paw Sox. He's had 2 separate stints here. Has some major league time as a coach up in Boston. And Mike Brumley, former major league infielder and Texas Longhorn, manager of Salt Lake in the Angels organization, managing the Pacific Coast League club. Ryan Church, the right fielder from Edmonton. It's going to be the last year for the Edmonton Trappers. Nolan Ryan, part of a group that's buying that franchise. They're going to move it to the Austin, Texas area. Church hits it up in the air and a long way in center. Andre Cummings got spun around but stayed with it to make the catch. Back before they renovated this park, Buck, that would have been a home run.
Really, that's what you were saying, a small yard then, eh?
They used to list 380 on the center field fence, but Joe Morgan told me it was really closer to 365. Imagine a professional park with a center field fence.
Tough place to pitch.
It was a tough place to pitch. Guess it got you ready for Fenway, though.
Oh, absolutely. And they used to stretch the truth about the distance out there for a while, too.
And another pop-up, this from the Australian Adam Morrissey. And the catch made by Brian Nelson. A 9-pitch, 1-2-3 inning from Diaz, who's pitched 2 perfect innings.
This is my Subway sandwich. The savory turkey breast with honey mustard and cucumbers, made fresh with under 6 grams of fat. Well, that used to be my Subway sandwich. Now I'm the low-fat sweet onion chicken teriyaki. Tender chicken glazed with teriyaki sauce. What? Man, I don't even know you anymore. This is my Subway sandwich, and this is what I eat when I want to eat fresh. How do you not know me anymore?
Hi, Tom Bodette. You're about to witness the miracle of savings. Click 6 Web Bargains save you even more at Motel6.com. Technology and value, the stuff of life. We'll leave the light on for you. And Accor Hotel.
Oh, my back.
Need some help?
Yeah.
Try my Bayer Back and Body.
Thanks, hon.
It's Bayer Aspirin plus a special pain relief booster. It works right where it hurts. Bayer Back and Body. Get moving again. Pain-free.
It started with a dream. That led to a philosophy. That led to a mission. Never stop learning. Never stop winning.
Calvin Pickering, who's from the Virgin Islands, sending a message back home.
Boy, he's had a good time here, getting autographs from a lot of the players, and really enjoyed himself and taking part in all the festivities here. Certainly has enjoyed his AAA All-Star Game experience here in Pawtucket.
There's one thing I don't understand, though, is Dave Williams pitches to Johnny Peralta. Didn't Bucky Jacobson say it's the first time he'd competed in a home run derby that somebody weighed more than he did? And he admitted to 275, and they list Calvin at 260.
That's when he signed, I think.
You think 260 might be a little low for Cal?
He's a big man.
2 balls a strike on Johnny Peralta, who flied to left in the first inning against the starter Dan Haren. Only 3 hits in the game, all of them bloop hits in the top of the first inning when the PCL scored 2 here at the AAA All-Star Game in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Peralta, Justin Morneau, and Joe Vitiello coming up. Fouled at the plate. Still 2-2 on Peralta.
You mentioned that Peralta filled in for Omar Vizquel a year ago in Cleveland. He got 242 at-bats. A very extended audition for the young shortstop.
And he's called out on strikes. Second strikeout for Williams, who's retired all 4 he has faced. And here's Kyle.
Thank you with Lou Collier's Scranton Wilkes-Barre Red Barons. Lou, last year you came here as a Pawtucket, 3 for 5 with a home run. How's it feel to come back now here to McCoy Stadium in a different uniform?
It's awesome. Like you said, I played here last year. And a lot of support from the fans. It's always fun to come here. A lot of good fans. They into the game, so they make them more exciting.
You've played in 4 All-Star games, made another, and was called up to the big leagues that year. What's it like for a guy who's been up in the major leagues a fair amount? How much does the AAA All-Star game mean to you year in, year out?
Well, you know, when you're younger, you're excited about it. Like you said, it's my 5th time. You know, it's exciting to be recognized as one of the best players in the league, but, you know, I'd rather be in the big leagues. But, you know, when you come here, you enjoy it. You get around other players that's, you know, in the same caliber as you, and you just try to make the most of it and have fun while you're here.
Good call here, do have fun. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Guys.
Well, last year there were 6 home runs hit in this AAA All-Star game played at Memphis, and this year so far the pitchers have dominated the game.
Morneau hits it hard under the glove of the shortstop Clint Barmas, a base hit. Assume that's a hit. It was well struck by Morneau. If it's a hit, it's the first for the International League.
Well, great approach at the plate, and you can see the extension that Morneau gets on that fastball. It's away. Good balance as he drives the ball right at the shortstop. Barmas kind of gave ground as that ball was hit right at him.
Morneau spends about 2 months every January and February working out in Arizona. The number of Major League Baseball players, a special program out there, said it's really helped him. He's much bigger and stronger than he used to be. Joe Vitiello, the batter, with the Toledo Mud Hens, the Detroit Tigers organization. He was up in the big leagues most of last year with Montreal. He's from just up the road in Stoneham, Massachusetts, and that might land in his hometown. Way out of here over everything and left. Well, that'll bring a smile to the faces of his relatives here tonight. His parents, Janet and Joe, are here. His dad is a Massachusetts State Trooper. He wanted to be home in San Diego during this break with his baby daughter born in June, and Joe asked us to send along greetings to his wife Taylor and their 4 little girls watching tonight in San Diego. They're celebrating in the Vitiello household.
Well, he absolutely crushed it, and he acknowledges his family here in the ballpark. You know what? It's been a long grind for Joe Vitiello, who started out in the Kansas City Royals system, played for the Padres for a while, went to Japan in 2001. But he's always had the ability and the intrigue of that power. A very powerful swing.
He was disappointed chatting him before the game. He felt he had a good year last year in Montreal, mostly off the bench, but did a good job when called upon. And to have to come back to AAA at 34 years old was disconcerting. He loves to play, and here's another guy hanging around because he loves to play. Ernie Young fly to left. Back-to-back hits, the first 2 hits for the International League, and all of a sudden it's a tie game. They did not have a hit before the single by Morneau, and it was scored a single. And the home run by Vitiello. Now Young, a ball up the middle. Morrissey to Sutton for the out, and here's Kyle.
All right, with Joe Vitiello. Joe, big home run that right there ties us. When you were born in Cambridge, Massachusetts, a lot of family here. What's it feel like to come here to McCoy Stadium and hit a big home run?
Oh, it feels great. You know, I talked to my wife before the game. She couldn't be here because she was back with my kids, and I promised her that I'd do something special for her tonight so I could get on TV so I could tell her I love her and thank you.
You got on TV, and we were coming home. We saw a little motion right before you were coming home play. Was that for your wife?
Yeah, it was for my wife and kids, and I wish they could be here, but we just had a daughter a month ago, so she had to be home with them. So I love you, babe.
Joe Vitiello, thanks for taking time. Nice work.
Thank you.
Guys.
Well, we talk about the ball players themselves bouncing all over the world to play baseball, but we have to acknowledge the families that are so supportive and continue to encourage players like Joe Vitiello, who are still playing the game they love so much and getting all that outstanding support at home. And he got a chance to say hi and thank you to his family.
Earl Snyder from Pawtucket, the batter, and that's down to third. Joe Dillon to Larry Sutton for the out that ends the inning, but the International League has tied it on the home run by Vitiello.
So for most 2-cycle engines, you set the switch to on, set the choke, prime it, then you pull the cord.
Cool, thanks.
Okay, sir, I got it all figured out. You got to switch it on, pull the choke. What?
When you're ready for outdoor power equipment, assembled, sold, and serviced by real experts, you're ready for a Stihl.
ID? I forgot my ID.
Can you do that again?
The X Games are coming to LA. Watch them live starting August 5th at 9 on ESPN, presented by Taco Bell.
I'm full! People everywhere are experiencing a breakthrough.
I haven't been this full since...
Fullness from a value menu.
Little announcement.
We're full! Introducing the Big Bell Value Menu from Taco Bell. A new menu of filling items like half-pound burritos and double tacos. Designed to keep your stomach and your wallet full.
I'm full, but you wouldn't understand that. Oh!
Get full on value. Think outside the bun.
When I first got into it, it seemed very simple. You take the pizza where it's going, and then you go back and get another pizza. But as I do it more and more, I realize that it is a business, you know, and I need to be as efficient as possible. And part of that is taking care of my engine. So that's why I use Chevron with Techron, because a clean engine is, you know, part of my business plan.
Automakers certify Chevron with Techron as top tier.
I like to think outside the box. Well, not the pizza box.
Fifth inning of the AAA All-Star game. Pacific Coast League and International League tied at 2. And a new pitcher for the International League. Left-hander from Rochester Red Wings. The Minnesota Twins organization, Dave Gassner.
11 wins and an EI under 3 for Gassner. And he, too, is not an overpowering type of pitcher that'll rack up a lot of strikeouts. But you can see he didn't walk many batters either. Only 17 walks and over 100 innings of work.
Rochester, another city with a great minor league baseball tradition. Gassner stumbled a bit as he threw ball 1 to Craig Ansman. Ansman, the number 9 hitter, grounded into a double play his first time up. He's from Long Island. He has, like Joe Vitiello, a lot of relatives who made the relatively short drive here to Pawtucket. How about what they did in Rochester? They got so tired of the Baltimore Orioles sending them bad teams year after year after year that after a relationship of more than 4 decades, they dumped them.
Yeah. And that's why we say this is a business now, and they need to put products on the field, good winning teams, and you can pack minor league ballparks.
There's a base hit. And you can hear Ansman's family down below celebrating that hit. Well, we're pleased to welcome in the man managing the Pacific Coast League All-Stars tonight, former Major League infielder Mike Brumley. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing good.
You having a good time?
Yeah, I thought the game would be closer, but...
Yeah, if you could tighten it up for our TV audience a little bit, we'd appreciate that. 2-2 at the moment. What's the attitude tonight? Make sure everybody plays?
Yeah, we're going to get everybody in there. We're going to let the starters go 5, and then we got all our starting pitchers are all going to have clean innings, and then we'll get those bullpen guys going here in a minute.
You're managing the Angels organization in Salt Lake. We were chatting at the luncheon today. A little bit of a tough year. You're kind of at the mercy of the Major League team, obviously, and a lot of injuries for the Angels. They reach down and take a lot of your best players.
They have, and we know our guys are staying close up there, but we've had some good production by our young players that are going up there and playing, and that's the name of the game. But we're getting everybody back, and you know, we're going to have a good second half.
5-4-3 double play, grounded into by Trinidad Hubbard, 2 outs.
Mike, what does it mean to you as a manager to be named to this all-star team here in the midseason, have a chance to be around all these other good players from different organizations?
I mean, it's great to be here. You know, I was kidding everybody earlier that I'm probably the only guy here that hadn't deserved to be here this year. I haven't done a very good job managing this year, but you know, the 3 years I've been there, and you know, Branch is great about getting everybody experience to come to a great event like this, and I'm glad the timing was perfect because I played in this area a lot, and so it's great to come back and see some old friends.
Branch is Branch Rickey, the president of the Pacific Coast League. And Barmas is the batter for the PCL. He lifts one down the left field line. And a foul ball. Now, Mike, I know you played at Texas on a national championship team. Among your teammates, Roger Clemens. An interesting night for Roger last night. Did you have a chance to watch any of the Major League game?
That was the only part I did watch. I got to catch that, and you know, what a career he's had. And we had some pretty good players in those years. And but what a career. It's been great to just watch him do what he's been doing. And it's incredible, you know, the amount of success that he's had, and a lot of the guys that came out of Texas during that era.
Mike, how about the job the people here at Pawtucket have done in hosting this event?
It's unbelievable. You know, I talked to Trinidad, has participated in a few of these games. He said this has by far been the best, and it was just great being here. I mean, Mike and Ben, this whole city, it's just been an incredible experience already.
We appreciate you taking the time out to speak with us, and good luck to you in Salt Lake in the second half.
Okay, I appreciate it.
That's Mike Brumley, manager of the Pacific Coast League team. Pleasant guy he is.
Yes, sir. And he appreciates his opportunity. And you know, he's one of those guys that's managing in the minor leagues, AAA, just a step away from the big leagues. And you know, the exposure of coming here and meeting the other players certainly will serve him well down the road.
1-2 the count. The Salt Lake team is 37-53. But it's interesting talking with Rick Burleson, who is a coach for the International League team, former Red Sox player, now managing in Louisville in the Cincinnati organization. He said, you know, my team's 7 games out of first place, but in the minor leagues you can make it up quickly. You get other teams in your division, they get their best players called up to the major leagues. You keep yours. You get some guys back down from the majors who went up earlier, and fortunes can change quickly. So even 7 games out, he felt like his team was in good shape. Pop-up. This one is playable for Andy Dominique. And that ends the inning. The pitcher's duel continues in the 5th. Tied at 2. We'll visit with Buddy Bailey when we come back.
Scent is the strongest sense tied to memory. How will you be remembered? Introducing new Red Zone Invisible Solid. It's the longest lasting Invisible Solid from Old Spice, so you smell great all day and all night. New Red Zone Invisible Solid in 4 cents. Stay in the zone.
It's a special edition of ESPN's Sunday Night Baseball at 6 p.m. Eastern as the Dodgers take on the Diamondbacks. Then, the action shifts to Hollywood for the ESPY Awards at 9 p.m. Eastern, Sunday on ESPN.
If you have great credit, shouldn't you be treated like you do? At eLoan, you are. With cash-out refinancing from eLoan, we process your loan differently. From application to instant decision to appraisal, we do it online. That costs less, so you get a great rate with no lender or appraisal fees. You get your cash out fast in as few as 12 days. You've worked hard for your great credit. The difference is, at eLoan, you're rewarded for it. Apply now at eLoan.com or call 1-800-ELOAN-22.
Some places have done strange things to reduce carbs.
One low-carb hamburger. There's no bun. It's a bunless burger. Burger without a bun? You bet your booty. Burger without a bun isn't a burger. Better believe it, burgers without buns have become burgers. Be a buddy. Bring back the bun to my burger boy. Bobby, bring out the banished buns.
At Round Table, we have a tastier reduced carb solution, the new Skinny Crust. Our world-famous original dough rolled thinner for a lighter, crispier crust with 30% less carbs. Try Skinny Crust today with any of your favorite toppings, only at Round Table.
Sean McDonough, Buck Martinez, Kyle Peterson back at the AAA All-Star game in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, just north of Providence. This city of 73,000 hosting this premier event. And the new pitcher for the Pacific Coast League is the veteran right-hander with plenty of major league experience, Jamie Wright.
Jamie Wright now at Omaha in a good first half. Worked 100 innings for the Omaha Royals, former #1 pick of the Colorado Rockies back in 1993. He is a starting pitcher that, as we heard from Mike Brumley, try to get a clean inning for the starters, and then he'll use the bullpen relief pitchers much more like they may be used during the course of a season, bringing them in to close out innings.
Right, a big guy, 6'6", 235, 29 years old. Major league time with the Rockies, the Brewers, and the Royals. In every one of those places, he was a teammate of Curtis Laskanik, who just joined the Boston Red Sox. And Jamie was telling me before the game tonight, Curtis Laskanik, one of his best friends. He is greeted by Lou Collier for the International League, now playing for Scranton Wilkes-Barre in the Phillies organization. And Wilkes-Barre leading the North Division of the International League. There are 3 divisions in the IL, North, South, and West. And Wilkes-Barre has the best record in the entire International League at 52-37. Collier tied for second in the league in hitting. 9 points behind the league leader, Johnny Peralta. And as Buck mentioned earlier, last year in Memphis, he had one of the 6 home runs in the ballgame, then a member of the Pawtucket Red Sox.
Well, he had a good game, and it was only Johnny Estrada with a little bit better game that kept him from being MVP. Johnny Estrada was eventually named the game MVP last year.
And the Major League All-Star this year.
Well, what a season he's put together. Switch hitting catcher with the Atlanta Braves.
Luke Collier scored 3 runs in the 13-9 International League win last year while going 3 for 5. Breaking ball for strike 3.
How's it going, guys?
How you doing, Buddy Bailey?
All righty.
And there's the manager and one of our hosts here at Pawtucket. You have to be so proud. I know you have great affection for Ben Mondor and Mike Timburo, Lou Schweckheimer, for whom you've managed for 7 years, and to see this event must really make you feel great.
Well, the way that they put it all together from starting Monday all the way till tonight, you know, the icing on the cake is this ball game, and getting to see the best that both leagues have, and so far it's been a competitive ball game, and hopefully it stays that way.
How is it for you to have a owner and general manager as supportive as they are to your job as a manager here?
Well, it's hard to beat anywhere that you're going to go in baseball. Pretty much I always ask Buddy, anything that you guys need, let us know. And very seldom do you have to bring it up the second time. It's pretty much taken care of. You guys coming in, seeing the clubhouse set up and weight room and the way they take care of both, not only the home teams that come through here, but the visitors. It's a great setup, and I feel it's a privilege to be here. It's a great franchise. It's one of the best in the minor leagues, and to be able to say that you work for them along with the Boston Red Sox, to me, I'm a very lucky man.
One of your players here in Pawtucket, Andy Dominique, out on the fly ball. Buddy, for our viewers, how are these players and teams selected?
Well, what they do is they send out ballots for the media for both leagues. You only vote on the players in your league, obviously, but the media votes and the coaching staff votes, and then they take the most votes from each city and compile it down to 2 or 3 ballots, and then it goes in. And the guys who start this ball game, the guys that you've seen for both of us, Mike and our club, were actually the guys who were selected unless somebody went to the big leagues and couldn't participate. And I think it's a good guideline. If you're voted on, you should have the privilege to start in the game. And originally they started with 14 guys, and then another 14 is added with the highest vote getters to fill out the roster. And as you go, if we drop below 25, then we would add players. But fortunately for us, a couple guys have gone to big leagues and came back, so we were at 26 to participate tonight.
Buddy Bailey, the manager of the Pawtucket Red Sox, managing the International League All-Stars, joins us here in the 5th inning. 2 outs and the bases empty. In a 2-2 game, you going to get everybody in, Buddy?
Well, a lot of these guys are going to put a whole new club on the field, pretty much. The guys at a whole new infield and a right field will have to change along with the new pitcher when we take the field here in a minute. And we were hoping that everybody get an opportunity to get at least 2 at-bats, and this is Nelly's second, so for us it's working out. As far as the at-bats, we'd like to have more runs and been able to get them 3, but at least we were able to get them 2.
Ryan Nelson hits it sharply up the middle. Loved by Barmers, who throws him out. Buddy, thanks for the visit. Congratulations to you and everybody in this organization. You've done a wonderful job hosting.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
That's Buddy Bailey, manager of the Pawtucket Red Sox. Back with more from Pawtucket right after this.
What do you call an exterior paint that goes on smoother, covers better, and offers great protection? Benjamin Moore calls it Harbor Haze. I call it new and improved. Benjamin Moore gives me the long-lasting beauty I want, and my Benjamin Moore dealer gives me the advice I need. Now I'm confident it'll get done right the first time. That's my kind of home improvement.
Call 1-800-6-PAINT-6 for the Benjamin Moore retailer near you.
I want another championship so bad, it hurts. It hurts my elbows, my knees, my wrists, but I work through it. With the new icy hot sleeve,
Introducing the new Icy Hot Sleeve, joint-hugging pain relief you wear. The new Icy Hot Sleeve surrounds painful joints with concentrated medicine that goes on icy to dull the pain, then gets hot to relax it away.
When you're working something so hard it hurts, get the new Icy Hot Sleeve, hard working pain relief.
Ready to go? The right genes make all the difference. Introducing Genworth Financial, built on GE heritage, now creating our own legacy.
You warned them.
You're gonna go tell them that Jason Bourne is dead. If I even feel somebody behind me, I will bring this fight to your doorstep.
They should have listened.
Take him down. He's coming for us.
The Bourne Supremacy. Rated PG-13.
This year, Allstate is proud to continue a great Olympic tradition, winning. Go to allstategousa.com right now, and you could win one of 5 new Cadillacs or other great prizes. That's allstategousa.com.
We're back at the AAA All-Star game in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. The Pacific Coast League and International League tied at 2. As we go to the 6th, the well-pitched game on both sides, and the new pitcher for the IL, their 4th of the evening, is a Yankee farmhand in Columbus. Had some time briefly with the Yankees, Alex Gromman.
26-year-old left-hander Alex Gromman out of Indiana State University. He was a pick back in '99 by the Yankees, working at Columbus, having a very fine season. 85 strikeouts in 91 innings and only 33 walks. That's a good ratio. Almost 3-1 for the Columbus Clipper.
26 years old. From Indianapolis, Indiana, as Buck mentioned, out of Indiana State, 6'4", 210 pounds. 3rd-round draft choice in 1999. Other changes that we'll tell you about as we go. Joe Dillon fouls one out of play to the right. He's gone all the way at 3rd base. There's the new 3rd baseman, Glenn Williams, the new shortstop, Jorge Cantu. Andy Phillips is at 2nd base. And there's a little pop fly in shallow left. Lou Collier is there to make the catch. Dillon is 0 for 3. From the Norfolk Tides, the Mets AAA affiliate Craig Brazell is at 1st base now. And another former major leaguer is catching, Geronimo Gil. Saw action with the Baltimore Orioles, now with the Ottawa Lynx in the Orioles organization. Collier still in the ball game in left field. Larry Sutton, the hitter, get an infield hit and scored in the 1st and struck out in the 3rd. There's Jim Rushford, Lou Collier's teammate in Scranton, the new right fielder. If it's tied, they're only going to play 1 extra inning, so that gives the manager some comfort, knowing they can put everybody in and not to worry about, geez, I need to save guys in case we go 13, 14, 15 innings.
Right. Yeah, they had an agreement. Of course, the 2 leagues get together and dictate that they won't play more than 1 extra inning just because of the limited rosters.
They don't have the AAA World Series anymore, so they're not playing for home field advantage in the postseason.
No. Larry Sutton missed last year with a knee surgery. He was out the entire season, and he talked about how much he learned about life in the summertime away from the game of baseball, and it was refreshing. But at the end of the summer, he had a real ache to get back on the field and play baseball again. And he got a little cup of coffee this year with the Florida Marlins.
Gromman misses up and in. Well, you talk about the sacrifices these players make, their families make, and you've lived it. Your old adult life in baseball as a player, a broadcaster, a manager in the major leagues. And here with us tonight on your 29th wedding anniversary. And we want to wish you and your beautiful wife, Arlene, a happy anniversary and many more.
Thank you very much, Sean. Yeah, it's All-Star break, and that's when baseball players get married during the regular season. And my wife, Arlene, and I got married 29 years ago in Kansas City.
Little pop fly, playable for Glenn Williams in foul ground, and the third baseman has it after a bobble. 2 down. We also want to wish a happy birthday to our producer, Scott Matthews, celebrating his 32nd birthday in our truck tonight. All kinds of festive occasions here.
Great day, and happy birthday, Scott. Scott and everybody in the truck does a great job supporting us up here in the booth, and we thank you all.
And this is a much better booth than it was when I came here as a broadcaster in 1982. You can see it's a very good sized press box. It was a fraction of this size back in the day, back in 82, 83, and 84, when I was privileged to come here as a broadcaster for the Syracuse Chiefs.
19 years old.
My first year in AAA, I was 19. I was a student at Syracuse University. Calvin Pickering is out on the bouncing ball to second. Wasn't it great to see Tex Simone, longtime patriarch of the Syracuse Chiefs, here?
Airport?
Yes.
Well, my name is Jim.
I just love the smell of your limo, Jim.
Oh, yeah? Well, it's a new car.
I love that new car smell.
Yeah, I wish it was mine.
It smells so good, Jim, this leather.
Here we are.
I'm going to put the polo match at 2, okay? Yeah. I know, I know. Well, Mommy's going to meet me at the airport. ID?
I forgot my ID.
Can you do that again?
The X Games are coming to LA. Watch them live starting August 5th at 9 on ESPN. Presented by Mountain Dew.
Someday I'm going to be a movie star. But right now, this is my only agent. So when my brother in Miami sends cash for rent, I just walk around the corner.
When loved ones need to send or receive cash, location really is everything. Western Union has over 170,000 agent locations worldwide.
This is the one place in town you can always count on for a happy ending.
Western Union, the fastest way to send money worldwide.
Back in Pawtucket at the AAA All-Star game, tied at 2, bottom of the 6th inning. And a new pitcher for the Pacific Coast League is the veteran Kevin Tolar, 33 years old, from Sarasota, Florida, now pitching in the Cubs organization.
Tolar, left-handed pitcher, is one of those commodities where you can continue to play and keep yourself ready to work, and you never know when you're going to get the call to the big leagues. Get a chance to go back up there, and especially if you can get left-handed hitters out. Tolar is pretty effective at that.
If you're a lefty, you can hang around a long time. Will Nieves is the new catcher from the Salt Lake City club. Midre Cummings, the leadoff hitter. Jamie Wright pitched a 1-2-3 inning for the PCL. Cummings 0 for 2, reached on an error in the first inning. The International League has had just 2 hits. They were back-to-back in the 4th, a single by Justin Morneau and a home run by Joe Vitiello off Dave Williams, who pitched 2 innings. Steve Neal, the new first baseman from Tucson. He's an Arizona Diamondback farmhand. Brian Dallimore, who led the Pacific Coast League in hitting last year and is threatening to defend that title, is in at third base. He's from Fresno, the Giants system. Look out. Line foul off to the left. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Good breaking ball. Looked like he was going to ring him up, didn't it? Bob Boehner, and then he changed his mind. Eric Almonte from the Colorado Springs Sky Sox is the shortstop. Full count on Cummings.
Now you can see the quality of Tolar's pitches. The reason that he is so effective, he's got that hard breaking ball down and away to left-handers. He's got a little extra zip on his fastball. And he's the type of guy that general managers always keep their eye on.
Fastball for strike 3.
Looked like Cummings had been retired earlier in the at-bat on a very good breaking ball. This time it's a fastball that catches the inside corner for strike 3.
There's one other change defensively. Nick Theodoro is the center fielder taking over for Trinidad Hubbard. He's from Las Vegas. Here's Jorge Cantu up for the first time from the Durham Bulls, the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, AAA affiliate.
Now the Devil Rays, we've talked about how they have turned their fortunes around this year under the guidance of Lou Piniella, and their farm system is starting to develop some pretty good players.
Cantu is just 22 years old. He's out on the ground ball to shortstop. 2 outs here in the 6th. Cantu part of a middle infield combination with B.J. Upton. We talk about promising young players, and B.J. Upton just a couple of years ago, the second player taken in the entire draft by the Tampa Bay Devil Rays.
Yeah, and he's real close to being in the big leagues. He is the type of guy that they're really excited about. You put him in with Rocco Baldelli and Carl Crawford and Aubrey Huff, some of the younger players on that Tampa Bay roster, and you know it bodes well for their future for a number of years.
Geronimo Heel is the batter. He's up for the first time. A couple of years ago, he was the starting catcher for the Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah, he was very disappointed this spring when new manager Lee Mazzilli told him he was going back to AAA. They kept Keith Osick over Geronimo Hill for the backup job, and since then they have added 2 catchers, including Robert Machado from Ottawa. He's back in the big leagues, and Ken Huckabee was just acquired by Baltimore.
Right down the middle, a called strike.
Geronimo Hill has a very strong arm, and he's got a powerful bat. And we're just hopeful that he would really get his catching skills a little more refined, and he certainly has the tools to be a very good everyday player.
Broke his bat. Both the bat and the ball went to the shortstop Almonte, who did well to avoid the bat and throw out the runner. A 1-2-3 inning for Tolar, tied at 2 after 6.
Hi, my name is Rick, but everyone calls me The Rick, and the ESPYs are coming up. I'm applying to be a seat filler. It's when you fill the seat when an athlete gets up and goes and uses the restroom, and a lot of people think I'd be good for Ed Belfour, John Smoltz. I think I'd be good for Tom Brady. Like if I had a brush cut, I was just like... Sometimes it even throws me off. I'll be like shaving, I'm like, whoa, is that Tom Brady? No, it's not Tom Brady, it's me.
The ESPY Awards, hosted by Jamie Foxx, Sunday, July 18th at 9 p.m., presented by GMC.
TNA wrestling action Wednesday night on Cox Digital Cable.
Here at McCoy Stadium, taking time after the 6th inning to sing along with Kate Smith, God Bless America. And now the International League will take the field. I wonder if the folks up in the booth here thought it was the 7th inning stretch. A half an inning early, because usually that happens in the 7th inning stretch, but we're not there yet.
Yeah, they are a little bit ahead of themselves. Back in the 1st inning, Big Calvin Pickering, who has had a good game here, drives home the first run of the ball game, and then John Gall, the Cardinals left field prospect, singles home the 2nd run, and then Big Joe Vitiello goes deep over the back wall, a 2-run shot, and tied it up in the bottom of the 4th inning.
That's Jim Rushford, the right fielder. There are a lot of very interesting personal stories in this game. His is among the most interesting. And with more on that, here's Kyle Peterson.
Yeah, thank you. Here with Danielle Rushford. And Danielle, you and Jim's trip to the Major League has been quite an impressive trip. Through the Heartland League, through the Western League, a couple years in the Northern League, signed with the Brewers, and then up to the big leagues in 2002. After all of that, what was it like for you to see Jim in 2002 playing the big leagues?
It was awesome, and the fact that his first game was at Wrigley Field, which is, you know, his hometown, it was awesome. He had so many family and friends there. It was great. It was great.
You guys have 2 young ones. We were talking earlier up in the booth about families in baseball. How difficult has it been with 2 young kids coming through minor league baseball for you guys as a family?
It's tough. It's tough. I mean, you know, just traveling with 2 kids anywhere, but especially like what we do, town to town, and you never know, like, if you're going to go to a different city, you know, the very next day. You don't know. You know, you have to be ready at any moment for anything to happen.
Danielle Rushford, thanks for joining us. Have fun today.
Thank you.
Guys.
And while Jim Rushford was in and out of baseball, he told us before the game today he had a lot of odd jobs. He worked as a roofer. He worked as a pizza delivery man. He said that was actually the best job that he had outside of baseball, the one that was the most lucrative. He was a bouncer at a nightclub.
Worked for a moving company, and he told us all along that his wife Danielle was the one that was always pushing him and would always remind him, hey, don't give up on your dream. And they realized that when he got to the big leagues.
New pitcher is Tim Kester from our host, the Pawtucket Red Sox, and he's pitching to Adam Riggs, who has just come into the ball game for the Pacific Coast League, an outfielder from Salt Lake City. Nice play down at 3rd. Glenn Williams from the Syracuse Sky Chiefs, the Toronto affiliate, helping Tim Kester's cause. Here's another guy, a lot like Jim Rushford, 32 years old, a journeyman. He's pitched in Italy, he's pitched in Taiwan, and now he's a AAA All-Star.
Well, and it's another story about a guy that just would go anywhere to get an opportunity to pitch and hone his skills, and now he is, you know, just a phone call away from the big leagues again, and it's an opportunity that a lot of these guys just won't give up. It's a great game, and so many of them have talked about what it means to them to be here with all of these great young players and some of the more seasoned players like Trinidad Hubbard and Joe Vitiello, and guys that have had so much time in the minor leagues.
Pete Zaccolillo is the pinch hitter out of the Bronx. You were telling me his dad was the coach, or is the coach at Iona?
Iona, yeah, baseball coach there, and Pete was a member of the Bayside Yankees, an amateur team in Bayside, Queens, that's developed so many major league players, including Billy Koch and Russ Rhode of the White Sox, Peter Monroe, Houston, and Steve Carsey, who is with the Yankees on a rehab assignment, trying to get back to the big leagues, but it's a well-run operation. The Bayside Yankees, Mark Cassetta is the guy that puts it all together, and he manages the team.
Well, let's get to the reason why you brought this up.
He played against my son.
Who hit a home run.
Who hit a home off Pete. Very good. I thought you were never going to get to that, Sean. My son Casey played against Pete when they were both in New York and playing as kids. And Pete said, yeah, I remember your son. He hit a home run off of me.
And your son played minor league baseball for several seasons.
Yeah, Casey was in the Blue Jays and Phillies minor league system, and now I work for the Metro Stars.
Soccer.
Soccer, yeah.
Hit on the ground to second. Andy Phillips to the pitcher, Kester covering. We mentioned Kester pitched overseas. In the year he pitched in Italy, he was scheduled to pitch on September 11th. And obviously, given what happened back in his home country, he was very emotional. Wasn't sure he wanted to go out and pitch. He pitched that night and won the ball game. So the owner of his team seemed to care less about wins. He liked strikeouts. So he could pitch a complete game shutout, but if he only struck out 2 or 3 guys, the owner wasn't that excited. He liked strikeouts.
Swing and misses.
Royce Huffman. He was a 2-sport athlete at TCU. Not only an excellent baseball player, obviously, but he was a punter and punt returner. That's an interesting combination. He played in a bowl game that I broadcast in the Sun Bowl for TCU. Coach Dennis Franchione against USC.
That is an unusual combination, isn't it?
Yeah, punt and run back punts. Kester hits the outside part of the plate.
Now, we all know about Darren Erstad and his kicking for Nebraska, and he, to me, would be a guy that would return punts. He would like to do that.
Royce Huffman plays for the New Orleans Zephyrs, the Astros organization. Drafted by the Astros after his senior year at TCU. Sports Illustrated named Royce one of the 10 best special teams players in college football in 1999. And he draws a walk. Are you having a tough time keeping score? I'm having a tough time keeping up with all these guys going in and out of the ball game. And
no, you just got to, you know, ride them in as they walk up. Great opportunity for fans to pick up memorabilia. That's a logo hat for the All-Star game, AAA All-Star game. And I tell you what, they have done a marvelous job, as we've mentioned throughout the course of this game, to entertain the fans. And it's been a big boost to this community.
You almost can't say that often enough. I mean, the home run derby the other night, the celebrities and the PCL and international players was terrific. They had James Earl Jones here. He performed the reading of Casey at the bat. Then last night, a gala at the State House in Rhode Island, which is one of the most magnificent buildings I've ever been in.
Beautiful.
Marble
Beautiful.
staircases.
Marble rotunda. And
great food, beautiful
wonderful
music. Bands playing downtown, all over downtown. There were thousands and thousands. They expected hundreds of thousands. The weather might have kept it down a little bit. They have something called water fire, where they light cauldrons, little baskets of wood, along the Providence River on fire. You said that was no big deal. You saw that in Cleveland many years ago, just without the cauldrons. The transformation, we talk about this franchise and what has happened here in Pawtucket, but the city of Providence, you were amazed.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Cosmopolitan city that has become over the last 10 or 15 years.
And downtown, the people were abuzz all throughout this whole week.
Swing and a miss. Nieva strikes out, and a good inning for Tim Kester. They played the longest game ever in professional baseball right here. We'll have the details when we come back.
The WNBA plays all summer long on ESPN2 and ABC Sports.
What do you get when a financial firm with 66,000 people in 50 countries takes the time to understand your needs like it's just the two of you? Could it be the most powerful two-person financial firm in the world? You and us. UBS.
Hi, Tom Bodette for Motel 6. This is what one of our rooms looks like when you're sleeping. Just like those big fancy hotels. Only difference is ours won't cost you nearly as much money. We'll leave the light on for you. And a Core Hotel.
Okay, we'd like you to try 2 frozen lattes. One is from a national chain of coffee shops, and the other is new from Dairy Queen.
This one's fantastic.
Looks like you chose the new DQ Latte. Great. Okay, you can give it back now.
Test is over. Let it go.
The new DQ Mulate frozen blended coffee, made with creamy DQ soft serve in 3 tempting flavors. Grab one and DQ something different.
Likes it a lot.
Today, you're a super painter with the amazing Wagner Wide Shot Power Painter. Fast and neat. It lets you paint up to 12 inches wide in one pass. The Power Painter. One of the ways Wagner gives you more power, because there's always something that needs painting. Wagner. Paint fast. Paint smart.
Advantage. Will you fear it or feast on it? NCAA Football 2005. Rated E for everyone. EA Sports. It's in the game.
Welcome back to Pawtucket, Rhode Island, where the fun continues. They had a lot of fun here back in 1981. The ball game began April 18th of 81. It wound up concluding on June 23rd. Pawtucket finally beat Rochester 3-2. It started on April 18th. It went till 4:09 in the morning. They finally suspended play, and that was the last day of the series. It continued into Easter Sunday morning. And when they resumed it on June 23rd, it lasted just 18 minutes. Dave Koza drove in Marty Barrett with the winning run. When it first began, Buck, they were trying to call the game earlier. They couldn't find the commissioner of the International League. They're trying to call him at home in the wee hours of the morning to ask, do we have to keep playing? And they couldn't get hold of him, so they just kept playing. Finally, at 4:09, they got the call, you can stop playing. Now. And they resumed it later in June. Cal Ripken was in that game for Rochester. Got to the plate 15 times. Went 2 for 13 in the ballgame. Wade Boggs went 4 for 12 for Pawtucket. Rochester actually went ahead in the 21st inning, but Boggs tied it in the bottom of the inning with a RBI single. Marty McCleary, who used to pitch for Pawtucket, now pitching for Portland in the Pacific Coast League and the San Diego Padres organization. That was wild. Of course, 81 was the year of the baseball strike, so that got a tremendous amount of national attention when that game resumed in June.
Well, you talk about, Ripken and Boggs playing in the game, and it was remarkable that they would play that long without something happening that would determine the outcome of the game. Scoreless for that many innings was pretty incredible.
Our old friend Steve Grilly, former Major League pitcher, was the losing pitcher in that game for Rochester. He wasn't even on their team when the game started in April. Dave Kozu got that game-winning hit, long-time Paw Sox player, and he was here the other night participating in the celebrity home run contest. He actually lost to Bill Lee in the finals, and it was a great thrill for the Pawtucket fans to see him. They'll always remember Dave Koza for his heroics. Joe Vitiello is the batter, and last time up, he provided all the offense for the International League with that home run.
4th inning home run. He acknowledges his fans and his family, of course. And many of his family are here at the ballpark tonight. His wife is back home watching this game. And Joe said, you know what, I'm going to do something special so I can get on TV. And indeed he did.
A treat for his 4 young daughters and wife Taylor, and he walks. The leadoff base runner for the International League. Let's go to Kyle with our tremendous host, one of the great men in all of baseball, Ben Mondor.
Thank you, Sean. Ben Mondor, you've been so important to this Pawtucket franchise. You really put your heart, your soul, and your wallet into it. Bought the club in 1976. What does it mean for you to now see this All-Star game here in Pawtucket?
Well, you have to consider where we started from. It was non-existent,
completely bankrupt. There was nothing here in the ballpark. Well, let's put it this way. A few tufts of grass. It was all dirt, dirty and filthy. Well, you know, a city park that nobody cares about. Everybody goes in, does what they want. And that's what it was like. And to culminate into this tonight is beyond all expectation, beyond dreams.
People have said so many times this weekend, you're kind of a throwback to the old baseball man. The most expensive seat in here is $9 in this entire place. I mean, what has been the most important thing for you throughout this entire thing, focusing on the fans?
Well, focusing on the fan, we wanted to keep them to get their support. And this is one, like 1,000 other New England mill towns, bankrupt, down and out, fighting its way back to survival. And you couldn't get these fancy prices that these big city kids do. So, well, I'm the proudest of is our general admission. In 28 years, I've never raised the price. And I'm proud of that.
I don't blame you. Talk about the proximity to Boston, too. You're the farm club for the Red Sox is such a giant fan base for the Red Sox. How much does that help you and them at the same time?
Well, what's so important there, when they were bankrupt, and Hayward Sullivan from the Boston Red Sox, was the owner of the Boston Red Sox, chased me down, is to keep the team here. Go clubhouse to clubhouse, it's 40 miles. You know what it means when they bring a fellow up. He doesn't have to move his family, doesn't have to get an apartment, doesn't have to move his kids. He just goes to work up there, he comes down here. So that makes it mentally much more convenient and more amenable to the players. When I came here, a lot of newspapers wrote articles, well, this new fellow, meaning me, seems like a nice guy, but he'll never work. It's too close. And all I said was, show me some data. Show me some data. Oh, we don't have data, but we know. We know. You know, the written media, these people, they know. They know everything. So I said to Mike, hey, get a hold of somebody, and let's keep records. What our attendance is when we're playing, always when we're playing at home, when Boston's playing at home. Number 2, when Boston's playing at home on television, and number 3, when Boston's playing on television, and us too. And we kept records for 3 years. And do you know when we draw best? When the big club's playing the Yankees at home and on television. Yeah. So it just puts baseball in the air.
Well, Ben Mondor, it's a great show. We thank you. You've been an outstanding host, and thank you for sharing the city with us.
Come back and see us, huh?
Okay, guys.
What a man he is. You know, obviously when every player gets called up to the big leagues, they're so excited. But a lot of them, Buck, leave here not reluctantly, but with a little bit of a heavy heart, because it's such a family atmosphere here in the stands, in the clubhouse, in the front office. Ben Mondor treats these players like they're his own children. It takes a great interest in their life away from the field, their children, their wives. And so often you just hear over and over again how much people love playing here because of Ben Mondor. Mike Timborough, his president, who's been here with him from day one. Lou Schweckheimer, the same thing. He goes way back to the beginning. Bill Wanless, a great PR guy. And this is a family operation, and this is the best family atmosphere I've ever seen in professional sports, what they have here in this ballpark. They don't tolerate rude behavior in the stands at all. They want you to be able to bring your children and not hesitate for a moment to do so. Imagine not raising ticket prices for general admission in 28
years, kept the same ticket prices, and that's remarkable. But you could sense that as you walked around the ballpark on Monday and then again today, how everybody was happy to have you here. The people that work here were saying, you know what, we hope you enjoy your day. And you could see the berm beyond the fence in the outfield, how the fans bring their blankets and they'll sit out there and enjoy the ball game. But it certainly is a wonderful family atmosphere that they have created here, and Ben Mondor is responsible for that. And this community knows full well that this club would not be here were it not for the efforts of Ben Mondor, and it's certainly a huge part of this community.
He's excited. How about those elevated stands right above the dugouts where the fans come? They have little ropes tied to buckets. They drop down baseballs for the players to sign, or programs.
Oh, yeah, you got to sign the programs and the baseballs, and they are genuine fans. They lean over that rail right there during batting practice and encourage the players to sign the balls in the bucket.
Lou Collier, the batter. Joe Vitiello led off with a walk. Corey Hart came in a pinch run for him. Jim Rushford credited with a single on that ball down to third base. Then Glenn Williams out on the fly ball to the outfield. So now Collier with Hart the pinch runner at third. The go-ahead run, and the pitch gets away, and Rushford goes to second. Not a lot of room behind home plate here, and the pitch didn't get very far away from Will Nieves. So Rushford moves up, and now they have two in scoring position with one out against Marty McCleary. That's a wild pitch.
Corey Hart thought about it, but the ball wasn't clearly far enough away from Will Nieves, so he couldn't risk the opportunity at that point. Nieves from Salt Lake City. Another outstanding Puerto Rican catcher coming through the Angels system. Originally with the San Diego Padres, now he's in the Angels system.
Ball. The pitcher McCleary spent his first 6 years in professional ball in the Red Sox organization. Spent time here in Pawtucket in 2001 and 2002. Wound up being released by Boston last year in the Marlins organization, dividing his time between AA and AAA, and acquired by San Diego in early April this year from Florida. And now not only still pitching after being released by the Boston Red Sox organization, but he's a AAA All-Star.
Well, Will Nieves like a cat behind the plate. This is a breaking ball that McCleary throws in the dirt, and look at the position as he bent over at the waist and smothered that ball with his chest protector and keeps his eye on Corey Hart at third base.
What a nice young man Will Nieves says. How often do you experience this in our job, Buck, at least at the major league level, when a player comes up and thanks you
for saying hi?
I said, excuse me? Collier swinging a miss. It was amazing how these players, these young players today, were captivated at the luncheon by everything that Bobby Orr and Dom DiMaggio and Johnny Pesky said. These are guys in their 80s. Some of these AAA players probably never heard of some of those guys, Pesky or DiMaggio or Orr, as hard as that is to believe. I've met players who come up to the Red Sox never heard of Carl Yastrzemski.
Yeah.
But you could have heard a pin drop in the 1,200-seat Rhode Island Convention Center today when Bobby Orr and Johnny Pesky and Dom DiMaggio spoke.
Yeah, it was outstanding, and the players really enjoyed it. And McCleary gets a pat on the back from Mike Brumley as he will be taken out of this game, and Brumley's going to go to the bullpen.
So 2/3 of an inning for McCleary, and we'll return to the AAA All-Star game after this.
When I first got into it, it seemed very simple. You take the pizza where it's going, and then you go back and get another pizza. But as I do it more and more, I realize that it is a business, you know, and I need to be as efficient as possible. And part of that is taking care of my engine. So that's why I use Chevron with Techron, because a clean engine is, you know, part of my business plan.
Automakers certify Chevron with Techron as top tier.
I like to think outside the box. Well, not the pizza box.
Quick, come on board. We don't have much time. A new campaign for codenamed Kids Next Door is about to begin. Here's what we're up against. Oh, fire at will!
We're gonna need all the help we can get.
Your orders are to tune in for all new episodes of Codenamed Kids Next Door. Fridays at 7 and 10. All part of Fridays on Cartoon Network.
They've done strange things to reduce carbs.
One low-carb hamburger.
There's no bun.
It's a bunless burger.
Burger without a bun?
You bet your booty.
Burger without a bun isn't a burger.
Better believe it, burgers without buns have become burgers.
Be a buddy. Bring back the bun to my burger boy.
Bobby, bring out the banished buns.
At Round Table, we have a tastier reduced carb solution. The new Skinny Crust. Our world-famous original dough rolled thinner for a lighter, crispier crust with 30% less carbs. Try Skinny Crust today with any of your favorite toppings. Only at Round Table.
For your free brochure.
Sean McDonough, Buck Martinez, Kyle Peterson back at the AAA All-Star game in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. On a cool, overcast night, chance of rain here later on. We've been pretty lucky throughout the last 3 days, dodging the raindrops. Sunday night baseball, the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Dodgers have won 8 of their last 10 heading into the break. They'll try to stay hot Diamondbacks weathering an awful season, and the Randy Johnson trade rumors. The ESPYs will follow Sunday Night Baseball at that special time, 6 Eastern time, presented by McDonald's. How do you handicap that National League West?
Well, the Dodgers certainly are talking about adding to their offense, and they have the pitching to go a long way, as we all know. And Sean Green, I think, is going to have a better second half. I like the Dodgers in the way their pitching sets up.
New pitcher is Ron Flores, left-hander from the Sacramento River Cats, the Oakland Athletics AAA affiliate. He was drafted by the A's in 1998 out of the University of Southern California.
Again, a left-hander that can rack up strikeouts. And you can see an off-speed pitch there.
He's facing Craig Brazell up for the first time from the Norfolk Tides, the New York Mets AAA affiliate. Back when I was broadcasting in this league, they were the Tidewater Tides, still in the same area, just changed the name to Norfolk. Fly ball in left center. And that ends the inning. They threaten but do not score. Still tied at 2 in Pawtucket, Rhode Island.
Hi, honey. How are you? Good. How are the kids? Oh, that's wonderful. No, I just think we're going to make an early night of it. Yeah, Daddy's so tired he's already asleep. Uh-huh. Okay, sweetheart. Okay, good night. Kisses.
Oh, my back.
Need some help?
Yeah.
Try my Bayer Back and Body.
Thanks, hon.
It's Bayer Aspirin plus a special pain relief booster. It works right where it hurts. Bayer Back and Body. Get moving again. Pain-free.
Today, you're a super painter with the Wagner Quick Touch Power Roller. One touch, and you control a continuous flow of paint. The innovative Power Roller. One of the ways Wagner gives you more power, because there's always something that needs painting. Wagner. Paint fast. Paint smart.
Sport is sport. A foul's a foul. And a bat's a bat, even if it's flat. 10 feet on the west side is 10 feet on the east side. Football is football. Unless it's football. Now, a win's a win, a loss is a loss. But no matter what, you better come with it. Because it's 90 feet to first, no matter where home is.
Something has brought Jason Bourne out of hiding.
You're gonna play ball one way or the other.
Where's he headed?
We got something. We need snipers, DOD, whatever they got.
I don't care what you have to do. Get Bourne.
Where is he?
Right next to you. The Bourne Supremacy, rated PG-13, starts July 23rd. Receive a free movie ticket to Bourne Supremacy when you buy the Bourne Identity Extended DVD with a never-before-seen beginning. Buy the DVD now.
One of the highlights of last night's activities in downtown Providence, Rhode Island, water fire, floating cauldrons that dot the Providence River. The players and other dignitaries helped light those cauldrons. What a scene that is downtown at Water Place Park, right in the heart of downtown Providence. Here's Dan Geis, the new pitcher from the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Red Barons of the International League, the Philadelphia Phillies' first place affiliate.
And of course, everybody in Scranton anxious to contribute to the Phillies' effort in the National League East. It looks like it's going to be a 4-team race before it's all said and done now.
Nick Theodoro, a pretty well hit ball to left, and it's caught by Lou Collier, who's gone all the way in left field. Theodoro retired in his first at bat of the night. Now Eric Almonte batting for the first time. He saw major league time with the Yankees at the start of last year when Derek Jeter was injured.
Did a nice job. Jeter was injured opening day in Toronto when he dislocated his shoulder sliding into third base. And Almonte was pressed into action and Did a pretty good job for them.
Not good enough to stay in the organization, apparently.
Well, you got to
Played in the
believe.
2001 AAA game for Columbus, now in the Rockies organization. Having a very good year for the Sky Sox. Trying to break a 2-2 tie. The Pacific Coast League has not scored since the first. They very easily could have been shut out so far tonight. They got 2 runs on 3 bloop hits. Dykes thought he had a strikeout. That Almonte is still up there at 1-2.
Pretty good breaking ball by Geis, and Almonte was just able to check his swing in time.
That's a well-hit ball to straightaway center. And it is caught. Great catch up against the wall by Midre Cummings to keep it a tie game.
Eric Almonte gave it a ride. It looked like this might give the Coast League the lead, but there's Midre Cummings making an outstanding catch. Great concentration as he braces himself with his right hand, jumps up on the fence, and it's much appreciated by the pitcher, Dave Geis.
Now he's out after 2/3 of an inning with a sigh of relief. We'll introduce you to the new pitcher when we come back.
Yeah, hi. I was wondering, can I get a wake-up call tomorrow morning, please? 8:30 a.m.? Yeah, the thing is, I was wondering, can I get that to go to my cell phone instead of my room? Oh, well, here's the thing. I'm not quite sure if I'm gonna be in my room tomorrow, so I just thought if you could call my cell phone, it would cover all bases. Please?
When I first got into it, it seemed very simple. You take the pizza where it's going, and then you go back and get another pizza. But as I do it more and more, I realize that it is a business, you know, and I need to be as efficient as possible. And part of that is taking care of my engine. So that's why I use Chevron with Techron, because a clean engine is, you know, part of my business plan.
Automakers certify Chevron with Techron as top tier.
I like to think outside the box. Well, not the pizza box.
Okay, we'd like you to try 2 frozen lattes. One is from a national chain of coffee shops, and the other is new from Dairy Queen.
This one's fantastic.
Looks like you chose the new DQ Latte. Great. Okay, you can give it back now.
Test is over. Let's go.
The new DQ Latte frozen blended coffee, made with creamy DQ soft serve in 3 tempting flavors. Grab one and DQ something different.
Likes it a lot.
Dan Geis retired both batters he faced, and now without considerable help from Midre Cummings, who made that great catch up against the wall.
And he acknowledges Midre Cummings. Thank you very much. That was great. Midre Cummings saved a possible home run, at least an extra base hit, when he jumped up on the fence and pulled down the second out of the inning. Jim Crowell of Scranton Wilkes-Barre, left-hander, comes on. Look at the walks. Just 6 walks in 37 2/3 innings.
Well, another guy who's been around. He's 30 years old. This is his 3rd season in Scranton Wilkes-Barre. Another guy who came out of independent baseball. Spent the first 2.5 seasons of his career in the Cleveland chain. Then went on to Cincinnati. In 1997, he pitched for 5 different teams and pitched in the major leagues. Brian Dallimore with a hit, and that's nothing new. We mentioned he was the batting champ in the PCL last year, and he's 2nd in the Pacific Coast League right now in hitting.
Dallimore spent 12 games with the Giants. He was called up. In that stint, he had 250 with a homer and 7 RBI. He had some problems with Ray Durham, the second baseman. He had hamstring problems, and then Dallimore went up to help him out in the infield.
Dallimore's probably one of those guys wondering, what do I really have to do to get up there? You know, I keep leading my league in hitting at AAA, and yet not much of a chance at the major league level. Steve Neal, the batter, for the first time today. He sends one down the left field line. Collier over into a very dark corner down there. Makes the catch. That ends the inning. We're in the 8th. Still tied at 2.
You think that's due? Think again. That's what's called a cold sweat. Because our guy has the steel combi system. One tool, multiple attachments. Tremble with fear, little yard. Tremble with fear. The steel combi system. Are you ready for a steal?
People everywhere are experiencing a breakthrough. I'm full! Fullness from a value menu.
Guess who got full this weekend? You, dog!
Introducing the Big Bell Value Menu from Taco Bell. A new menu of filling items, like half-pound burritos and double tacos, designed to keep your stomach and your wallet full.
I'm full beyond my wildest dreams. And you can be too!
Get full on value. Think outside the bun.
You're right on it. There you go. Welcome back, Pawtucket, the AAA All-Star Game. We're here with Jeremy Kapstein, senior advisor of the Boston Red Sox, former CEO of the San Diego Padres and Rhode Island native. Talk about what this game right here means to the Boston Red Sox, the parent of this Pawtucket Red Sox franchise.
Kyle, it's been a great deal. The three-day festival has been a phenomenal success. It has created a lifetime memory for the state. Governor Kachuri said it is the signature event in his lifetime in the state. And on behalf of our ownership, John Henry, Larry Lucchino, and Tom Werner, we want to congratulate Ben Mondor, Mike Tamburo, and the entire state of Rhode Island for putting on a phenomenal AAA All-Star Festival.
It's been an outstanding festival. Part of that today, Bobby Dorr, Tom DiMaggio, Johnny Pesky, all there. I know you got a chance to see that. How neat was that to see those three guys in the same room again?
We had about 1,200 people downtown Providence. We had a chance to link the generations. You know, you have in your booth tonight one of the real jewels of New England and the country, and somebody very precious to us in Boston for 17 years. He's been the voice of Boston Red Sox baseball, and that's Sean McDonough. To see Sean link with Bobby Dorr, Johnny Pesky, and Mr. DiMaggio, Dominic DiMaggio, was very, very special. And everybody who saw it said that it is a unique and lifetime experience. It was very, very special. And great for the Red Sox, because all four men represent a link with Red Sox Nation.
Jeremy, I've got to ask you one last question. I've seen the telephone very close to your ear tonight. Obviously, we're at a time where a lot of things are happening. Is there anything going on tonight with the Boston Red Sox or any trades in the work?
Well, I know you have to ask that question, Kyle. The only people who can talk for our franchise when it comes to baseball are our president and CEO, Larry Lucchino, and our general manager, Theo Epstein. The only thing I can say is this. Our ownership, our front office, works very, very hard to do everything it can to bring the best possible result to our fans. We have probably the most passionate and loyal fans in all of sports. And the Red Sox fans are not only in New England, they're throughout the country. So I really can't answer that directly. But the only ones who can answer that are Theo and Larry, and all I can tell you that they are very, very hard-working people, and they're very, very good at what they do.
Well, we had to try. Jeremy, we appreciate your time. Thanks for talking to us today.
And one other point, ESPN chief of baseball, Mr. Patrick Cavanaugh, we in the Red Sox organization are very proud of him because he grew up with Nesset and was our producer until he went to ESPN. He's a native of Tiverton, Rhode Island, and Patrick, even though you're running ESPN now, don't forget your friends in Boston.
All right, Jeremy. Thank you. Guys.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you to Kyle as well. Appreciate his kind comments.
Well, this time of the year, and obviously you talked about your link to New England, and
Midray Cummings drives one the opposite way, and it is gone. And that might have just cemented the MVP honors in this game for Cummings. He made the great catch to keep it a tie game, and now he hits a home run to give them the lead. The International League leads for the first time tonight, 3-2.
This is a bolt, no stride approach, and Cummings thinks at least he's got extra bases, hustles around the bag at first, and then is very relieved to see the ball hit the top of the fence in center field and bounce right out of the ballpark. He saved a home run, and now he's hit one.
And I think that qualifies you as the MVP in a one-run game. Midray Cummings, one of those veterans we've been talking about all night long. He's 32 years old. Played for 8 different major league clubs. Most recently Arizona in 2001. Jorge Cantu, a Tampa Bay Devil Ray, and a teammate in Durham of Midray Cummings. 0 for 1 tonight. He had a big hack and popped it up for on floors. And a catch made by Theodoro in center field, 2 outs. The attendance here tonight is 11,192, and that is an overflow crowd and then some in this ballpark.
Well, there was threatening weather in the area most of the afternoon, and it really calmed down, and great crowd, great turnout. Wonderful night for this organization, and they've been entertained by an outstanding ball game. A couple of home runs. Joe Vitiello hit a 2-run home run in the 4th, and Midray Cummings his solo shot here in the 8th.
Here's Dane Sardina, pinch hitting. He's a catcher, native of Hawaii, playing in the Cincinnati organization for Louisville, and they're very high on him. Very good catch and throw man, aggressive hitter. Rick Burleson, his manager who's coaching in this game, said he's learning to use the whole field. Was exclusively a pull hitter for a while, and we spoke with Tim Naring, the former Red Sox player, who's now running the farm system for Cincinnati, and he raved about Sardina.
Yeah, I've seen Dane Sardina play going back to his freshman year at Pepperdine, and he's a very good catch and throw guy, and he's trying to get more comfortable at the plate.
Not comfortable that time, but the International League takes the lead. What a night for Midray Cummings. First, the catch that helped to keep it a tie game. Might not have been a home run, but it was going to be close. And then he hit one that left the yard. 3-2 internationally.
What do you get when a financial firm with 66,000 people in 50 countries takes the time to understand your needs like it's just the two of you? Could it be the most powerful two-person financial firm in the world? You and us. UBS.
That's a silverback. You can see the silver right on the back. Oh, great. He's making a call. He's making a peak hour call!
Just hope you're not roaming.
Too many restrictions on your wireless plan?
You want some of this, monkey boy?
Come to T-Mobile and talk whenever, nationwide.
Whenever.
T-Mobile gives you the most whenever minutes. 1,000 for just $39.99.
T-Mobile, get more.
Ooh, look. Dear Prilosec OTC guys, what's so different about Prilosec OTC? Signed, the frequent heartburn guy next to you.
Whoa, big difference. Look here. It's the only OTC that directly shuts down lots of those acid-producing pumps in your stomach. That's why it's the only OTC that can work for 24 hours with 1 pill a day. Awesome.
One pill a day, 24 hours, 0 heartburn.
AAA All-Star Game. Brought to you by Dodge. Proud to be the sponsor of the AAA All-Star Game. The best seats for every game. No tickets required. It only happens in one place. Only Vegas. And Bear Aspirin. Bear. Take it for pain. Take it for life.
Sean McDonough, Buck Martinez, Kyle Peterson back in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. And heading to the ninth, the Pacific Coast League needs a run to tie it, 2 to take the lead. They'll try it against an all-new battery. Dane Sardina stays in the game to catch another Minnesota Twin AAA player at Rochester, Jesse Crane.
Look at the strikeouts for Jesse Crane. The Twins are excited about the prospects for his future. 17 saves in 35 appearances, a very good ERA, and he didn't walk many guys for a power pitcher, and he's got an electric fastball.
Up there around 96 miles per hour. And Pickering knew he had to dial it up a little bit. He fouled one back. Calvin singled to drive in a run in the first. They haven't scored since the first. They've had just 2 hits since the first. 5 hits in the game for the Pacific Coast League, 4 for the International League, but 2 of them are home runs for all the scoring. A 2-run homer by Vitiello, and then that go-ahead home run moments ago by Cummings. And Pickering now 2 for 4.
Now let's take a look at Jesse Crane, and he's a powerful fastball pitcher. You could see his best pitch, fastball and slider, 92 to 94 with the fastball. I think he even throws a little harder than that. Good leverage and a very sound delivery. And it makes you scratch your head when he's got a powerful hitter like Calvin Pickering up there, and he throws him a curveball. And he allows Pickering to catch up with it.
Adam Riggs from Salt Lake City fouls one straight back. He's up for the second time. Grounded out against Tim Kester in the 7th inning. Crane, born in one of your favorite cities, Toronto, Ontario. At the high school in Colorado, lives now in Austin, Texas, a 2nd-round pick in the June 2002 draft by the Minnesota Twins.
Well, we said it before about the Twins and their great organization, how they can continually develop outstanding players through their minor league system.
One of the most underappreciated people in the game, perhaps the scouts.
Oh,
obviously, they must have a great scouting staff, and Terry Ryan does a great job leading that baseball operation.
You know what they do? They really concentrate on the fundamentals of baseball, and they expect you to perform fundamentally sound, and that's why they're constantly developing all these good young players. And Tom Kelly is still involved with the organization, and Terry Ryan has been consistent with his approach, and they develop not only good players but good character people. I mean, have you seen Joe Mauer yet? He is pretty special. Young catcher there in Minnesota. Of course, we saw Justin Morneau here today, and he's a good-looking young player.
Fastball missed, 3-2. Pickering the tying run at first. It might take a couple of hits to get him around. They don't have anybody left on the bench to pinch run unless they wanted to put a reserve pitcher in. Only pitchers left. All the positional players have played for the Pacific Coast League. I don't think if I was a farm director of one of these teams, I'd like to see my pitcher out there as a pinch runner.
No, that's something that, you know what, both of these managers really pay particular attention to. You want to make sure that you give everybody the opportunity to get ready, get in the game, and you want to ask them to do something they're not familiar with. There's Buddy Bailey, the manager, alongside Rick Burleson.
Jesse Crane has another one fouled back by Riggs. Crane was a two-way player at the University of Houston, shortstop and very effective closer. He was the Twins minor league pitcher of the year last year. Wow, that just missed. 92 miles per hour, apparently just outside. So a great chance here to tie or take the lead for the PCL with 2 men on and nobody out.
Pretty good fastball, just missed the outside corner, and Jesse Crane thought he'd made a pretty good pitch with that fastball, but Adam Riggs had a pretty good at bat, fouling off a couple of good pitches.
There's Pete Zaccolillo up for the second time. He grounded out his first time. A single and a walk, and the first 2 men are on for the Pacific Coast League. Zaccolillo takes one high. Matt Whiteside, the former Texas Ranger, has been warming up in the International League bullpen. He pitches now for Richmond in the Braves organization. There's a blazing fastball down the middle.
Zaccolillo comes out of Rutgers University. Jeff Torborg is from Rutgers.
Jeff Torborg once led the nation in hitting, I believe, at Rutgers. He went on to a distinguished career in the majors as a catcher and then a coach and manager.
Broadcaster.
And one of the all-time nice people.
A prince, absolutely. First class all the way. Caught 3 no-hitters in his big league career.
Zaccolillo 3 times an all Big East first teamer at Rutgers for the Scarlet Knights. It's a hard base hit. Pickering will be held at third with nobody out.
Zaccolillo does his job. Calvin Pickering got the stop sign. It was a hot shot through the infield, and by the time Jim Rushmore charged it, they were going to have an easy shot at Calvin Pickering. Andy Phillips couldn't make the play, and there's Calvin coming around third, gets the stop sign and returns. Now bases loaded, nobody out.
What kind of odds would you give me on Calvin Pickering stealing home to tie the game right here?
Probably not the first thing on the manager's mind right here. Mike Brumley's going to say, you know what, maybe a deep sac fly.
It would have to be very deep, I think. And I'm not sure I'd want to be the catcher blocking the plate in an all-star game. I don't want to have a AAA version of Ray Fosse here with big Calvin coming down the line. Royce Huffman with a great chance to tie it or give his league the lead. Pacific Coast League batting in the 9th, down by a run, bases loaded, nobody out against Crane. The breaking ball goes through the legs, and a run scores, and it's tied at 3.
You are the master. You said steal home, but Calvin scored on a wild pitch to tie the game. It was a breaking ball that snuck under the glove of Dane Sardina, the catcher. You could see Sardina reaches for it, and is surprised it's not in the webbing of his glove. And here comes Calvin. Scores easily to tie it up at 3-0. Had him all the way, Calvin.
To pass ball. Charge to Sardina. He certainly did not go at it very well. You wonder if he was crossed up a little bit.
Well, that's always a possibility in an all-star game. You're not that familiar with the pitcher. And then you're really not that familiar with the type of breaking ball you're going to catch as well.
Now the infield in for the International League, trying to keep it a tie game. This is good news for perhaps a pitcher or two for the Pacific Coast League who was not going to get into the game, who now will, because there will definitely be a bottom of the 9th. Swing and a miss by Royce Huffman. Two and two. 18 pitches thrown by Crane. He's still looking for his first out. A single, a walk, a single, and then a pass ball. Breaking ball missed.
Well, it shows you sometimes how difficult it can be to be a pitcher at times. You look back to Dan Geis. He pitched 2/3 of an inning and had a great catch made behind him, and he looks like he had a great outing. And here Crane's throwing the ball well and doesn't have much to show for it. He's got himself in a real nasty situation. And that was a result of a pass ball. So you can go out there with your best stuff, and if your defense lets you down a little bit, your line can get ugly in a hurry.
We already had to vote for the MVP. Not changing your vote, right? I voted for Mead Ray Cummings.
Yep.
Oh, he struck him out. Fastball, and he threw it by him upstairs for a big first out of the inning. He'll have to keep the infield in with 2 men in scoring position.
Well, he goes back to his bread and butter pitch, the fastball. Strikes out Huffman upstairs. And now they're going to go to the bullpen. Buddy Bailey says, you know what? I got the International League leading closer down there, Matt Whiteside, and I might as well use him right here.
So the veteran Whiteside runs in, and we'll be back in Pawtucket, Rhode Island right after this.
Advantage. Will you fear it or feast on it? NCAA Football 2005. Rated E for everyone. EA Sports. It's in the game.
Buddy, ready to go?
The right genes make all the difference. Introducing Genworth Financial, built on GE heritage, now creating our own legacy.
Someday I'm going to be a movie star. But right now, this is my only agent. So when my brother in Miami sends cash for rent, I just walk around the corner.
When loved ones need to send or receive cash, location really is everything. Western Union has over 170,000 agent locations worldwide.
This is the one place in town you can always count on for a happy ending.
Western Union, the fastest way to send money worldwide.
Tied at 3, and now it is the International League trying to keep it a tie game with 2 men in scoring position for the PCL. And a new pitcher, the 36-year-old Matt Whiteside.
Matt Whiteside made it to the big leagues with the Texas Rangers in 1992. Then he pitched for the Padres, for the Braves in 2001, went to Japan, pitched for Yokohama in 2003, and now he is back at Richmond. And he's doing a heck of a job throwing the ball very well. Still got that good fastball. There's a breaking ball and a ever-improving changeup.
Will Nieves with a chance to give the Pacific Coast League the lead. International League and PCL tied at 3 in the AAA All-Star game here in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, just outside Providence. And Whiteside's first pitch, a strike. I think the most important thing on his resume, most impressive from Matt Whiteside, is that he was once a judge in the Miss USA pageant. A little shallow fly ball, probably not deep enough to score the run. And Riggs won't try it. Catch made in shallow right by Jim Rushford. So they had second and third with a run already in and a great chance to take the lead and nobody out. Now there are 2 outs and they will need something from Nick Theodoro.
Just not deep enough to right field as Rushford makes a strong one-hop throw to the plate. Riggs bluffs, knowing full well he wasn't going to go on that short pop-up to right.
Theodoro up for the second time. He took over in the middle innings for Trinidad Hubbard, the starting center fielder. Fly to left against Geis last inning. Theodoro out of UCLA, a 27th round draft choice back in 1998. One ball and one strike.
Sean, you can still see Matt Whiteside has a little pop in his fastball. Plus, he has the experience of knowing that he makes a good pitch here, he'll get out of the inning. Very confident, very experienced, and he has 21 saves for Richmond this summer.
Theodoro is swinging a miss. Nick's heading to Athens to play for the Greek Olympic baseball team. He has relatives over in Greece, so he is looking forward to meeting when he goes over there to play. Pawtucket fans hoping the IL can get out of the jam. Whiteside's pitch just missed.
Now, Matt thought he made a good pitch and struck out Theodore.
Looked high, didn't it?
Take a look at this last pitch. It was high, but see, Whiteside was prepared to walk off the mound.
Well, I've been very impressed by this home plate umpire Bob Bainter tonight. You can see why he was selected to be here. Among the best umpires in the minor leagues. Theodoro strikes out. Great work by Whiteside. There was an unearned run in the inning because of the pass ball.
We think it might be catching on.
Hi, Mr. Riley. Come on in. Thank you.
But maybe it's just us.
Get up! Get up! Come on! Get up! Come on! Get up! Get up!
I want another championship so bad, it hurts. It hurts my elbows, my knees, my wrists, but I work through it with the new Icy Hot Sleeve.
Introducing the new Icy Hot Sleeve, joint-hugging pain relief you wear. The new Icy Hot Sleeve surrounds painful joints with concentrated medicine that goes on icy to dull the pain, then gets hot to relax it away.
When you work at something so hard it hurts, get the new Icy Hot Sleeve, hard working pain relief.
Just a couple of miles from McCoy Stadium in downtown Providence, Rhode Island, the beautiful Rhode Island State House. We appreciate the gracious hospitality of the great governor here in the Ocean State, Donald Carcieri. Has he had a great time here, Buck? He's been at every event.
He is
former baseball player at Brown, and what a wonderful man.
Yeah, he is really proud of what they've done here in Pawtucket with this team. Now Scott Atchison of the Seattle Mariners took home his the AAA team for Seattle. 33 games so far for Atchison with strikeout numbers, as he's struck out more than a batter per inning.
He's out of Texas Christian University. And his first pitch is popped up by Corey Hart. 1 out. This isn't the same Corey Hart who used to sing a few hit songs way back in the day, right?
No, but you were entertaining me with the Corey Hart playlist. It was
Wasn't that the guy who sang about wearing his sunglasses at night?
Yeah. I think it's the same guy.
This is a different Corey Hart. That Corey Hart was from Canada, I believe, and this guy is from Kentucky. Here's Rushford. Jim had a single in his at bat in the 7th inning. Former pizza delivery man. I liked what he said We talked before the game about his life experience and the interesting story we told about in and out of baseball and the several independent leagues, his wife helping him find jobs, and he was a delight to talk to. He said, "You should go find my wife. She's a better talker than I am."
And Kyle Peterson did.
Yes, he did.
I got to hear from his wife, Danielle.
Nothing gets past our intrepid reporter, Kyle Peterson.
Interesting aspect of Rushford's baseball background was he went to Larry Bowa's baseball camp one year when the Phillies manager had it just 1 year when he was a player, and Rushford was 10 at the time. And Rushford won his age group's MVP award for the camp. And then last spring he was in camp with the Phillies and showed Larry the picture.
He's out on the grounder down to first. Steve Neal won the race to the base. 2 outs in the ninth. The prospect of extra innings looming. Last night down in Houston, among the Major League All-Stars, a number of former AAA All-Stars. Ron Belliard for Cleveland, coming out of nowhere, it seemed, this year to establish himself as a Major League All-Star.
Got off to a tremendous start and maintained that 300 batting average. Mark Loretta, of course, was having a good year with San Diego.
It's Alfonso Soriano in 2000. In 1999, he was in the Futures game at Fenway Park and hit a home run that I still do not think has landed
over the Mass Turnpike.
Who gave up that home run? Do you remember?
Big right-hander. Big strapping right-hander.
It was the first pitch he threw, too, and Soriano
just went up into the air and just kept going and going. It was a nice one.
The truck tells us it was Kyle Peterson. I'm sorry I brought it up now. I didn't want to embarrass Kyle in that way, but hey, you can say he gave up a home run to a guy who went on to be the MVP of the Major League All-Star game.
He helped get him his start.
Glenn Williams, an Australian, plays for the Syracuse Sky Chiefs, longtime AAA affiliate of the Toronto Blue Jays. And you talk about another great family operation. Tex Simone, the longtime general manager there, his son John has worked for him for decades. And I don't know two people of more love of the game and minor league baseball than Tex and John Simone.
Well, they had a tremendous relationship with the Toronto Blue Jays going back to Paul Beast and Pat Gillick. And they would always make sure, Gord Ash would always make sure that they got down there to see Johnny and Tex and keep them up to date on the organization.
We will play one extra inning, and that is all. We'll come back for the 10th right after this.
Yeah, hi. I was wondering, can I get a wake-up call tomorrow morning, please? 8:30 a.m.? Yeah, the thing is, I was wondering, can I get that to go to my cell phone instead of my room? Oh, well, here's the thing. I'm not quite sure if I'm gonna be in my room tomorrow, so I just thought if you could call my cell phone, it would cover all bases. Please?
When I first got into it, it seemed very simple. You take the pizza where it's going, and then you go back and get another pizza. But as I do it more and more, I realize that it is a business, you know, and I need to be as efficient as possible. And part of that is taking care of my engine. So that's why I use Chevron with Techron, because a clean engine is, you know, part of my business plan.
Automakers certify Chevron with Techron as top tier.
I like to think outside the box. Well, not the pizza box.
Okay, we'd like you to try 2 frozen lattes. One is from a national chain of coffee shops, and the other is new from Dairy Queen.
This one's fantastic.
Looks like you chose the new DQ Latte. Great. Okay, you can give it back now. Test is over, let it go.
The new DQ Mulate frozen blended coffee, made with creamy DQ soft serve in 3 tempting flavors. Grab one and DQ something different.
Likes it a lot.
And this will be the first extra inning AAA All-Star game in the history of this event, which dates back to 1988. It was 2-0 Pacific Coast League until the 4th when Joe Vitiello hit a 2-run homer with Justin Morneau aboard. The Massachusetts native, waving to his many relatives and friends here tonight. Then Midre Cummings might have kept it a tie game with that catch. Then he put the International League ahead with a home run in the next inning. But then in the ninth, a pass ball allowed Calvin Pickering to score the tying run. It might have registered on local seismographic instrumentation. And as some of the folks who were leaving, taking their souvenirs on the way out. Eric Almonte against Matt Whiteside here as we go to the 10th in a 3-3 game.
Whiteside had talked with Buddy Bailey about this possibility before the game of coming in to the 9th inning and having to pitch the 10th, and he said, "Then no problem." He doesn't throw many pitches anyway. He's very efficient with his pitches. So he is the final pitcher for the International League.
I'm told that if it stays this way, the most valuable player of the game will be Midre Cummings for his homer and the great catch. The star of the game for the International League, Joe Vitiello, for his 2-run homer. And the star of the game for the Pacific Coast League, Danny Haren, their starting pitcher, who pitched 2 very strong innings, 2 hitless innings. I think those are all good choices.
Yeah, absolutely. Since we voted for them.
But we weren't the only ones.
No.
So it's nice that there are a lot of other people as smart as us, basically. Fouled back. Still 2-2 on Almonte.
You can see the illustration of the All-Star rings down in the clubhouse. It was really a nice commemorative ring, very similar to what you see the World Series ring, the big championship rings, and all these players will get those rings to acknowledge their being named to their All-Star teams.
Swing and a miss. Whiteside is sharp. He's retired all 3 batters he has faced, 2 of them, the last 2, via the strikeout.
He's got a full complement of pitches, and this is a good curveball. He throws down and away to a very aggressive Eric Almonte, who chased it with 2 strikes, trying to protect that strike zone. Mentioned that Whiteside has 21 saves for the Richmond Braves.
You can hear some of the fans down below chanting Bucky, Bucky. Bucky Jacobson of the Pacific Coast League is the only position player on either team who has not appeared in the game. And we're just speculating, but it's quite possible that the gentleman who won the home run derby here Monday night has been told that he's going to be called up by Seattle, and therefore that's the reason that he's not playing.
Yeah, that's a strong possibility that he hasn't made an appearance. He put on quite a show in the home run contest on Monday.
Boy, did he ever.
You gotta believe sometimes what happens, Sean, you're aware of this, is when they're going to make a move and call someone up from the minor leagues, they take them out of the game immediately, or if there's a trade been made during the course of the game, they will.
You don't want to see the guy get hit or something,
right,
and injure himself when he's on the verge of being called up to the major leagues for 8 years in the minors. I heard him say earlier, playing for his hometown team would be the ultimate thrill. Brian Dallimore singled in the 8th inning in his only prior at bat tonight. There's a strike. What a contrast to watch Jacobson and the other international Pacific Coast League All-Stars hit home runs after watching that celebrity home run hitting contest. Never have I seen so many people so eager to demonstrate that they have no athletic ability at all. And what we saw here from some of those celebrities the other night.
Well, and Bucky Jacobson put on quite a show, and you can see how strong he is. He hit it over the house in center field, 400 feet away from home plate. And he hit that shot, and it actually broke a window on a car parked beyond the stadium out in left center.
Local TV reporters, Kyle, they didn't get good coverage on that station that night. With 31 homers in Double-A last year, all of last season. That's a lot. He has 26 already for Tacoma. Good for him. If this is about to be the culmination of his dream, it's a pretty good week. You're a Triple-A All-Star, and then you're a major leaguer.
26 home runs and 86 RBI.
Well, that doesn't get you to the major leagues.
Yeah.
You might never go. The 3-2 pitch to Dallimore, and he struck him out on a breaking ball. 3 straight strikeouts for Matt Whiteside. It's the AAA All-Star game, first extra inning game ever in this event. Pacific Coast League and the International League, the 2 remaining AAA leagues, the American Association, dissolved a few years ago. Sean McDonough with Buck Martinez and Kyle Peterson. An overflow crowd at McCoy Stadium here at Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Home Run Derby coming up next. Steve Neal pops it up in foul ground. Williams makes the catch in the coach's box. A 1-2-3 inning for Whiteside. A chance to win it in the last half inning of this game for the International League.
Now, gentlemen, today's paintball match, we will be playing for Bud Light. What are you doing?
Thought you said it's for Bud Light.
It is for Bud Light. You have to capture this flag first. There it is.
Fresh, smooth, real Bud Light.
Take a Bud Light.
It's all here.
To cure athlete's foot, you've got to be fast on your feet. And nothing lets you treat faster than Lamisil AT. Lamisil AT cures athlete's foot with just 1 week's use. Not even a prescription can beat that. If you use Tinactin or Lotrimin AF, you'll be treating for 4 long weeks.
Who's going to do that?
When your feet itch and burn, using Lamisil AT 1 week is proven to kill the fungus and keep you athlete's foot free for 3 months. Lamisil AT. There's no better way to cure athlete's foot.
You're driving along. A car pulls in front of you. Another pulls alongside. When the guy up front stops short, you rear-end him, just like he wanted. It's called a swoop and squat. And fraud like this can add hundreds of dollars a year to your insurance bills. It's why Allstate has a dedicated fraud team to track down criminals. Fighting fraud helps keep your insurance affordable. That's Allstate, Stan. Are you in good hands?
No matter what happens, this will be the last half inning of this All-Star game, AAA version. Sean McDonough and Buck Martinez. And Buck, we hear so much talk about the lack of depth of pitching throughout baseball, and we've seen some terrific arms out here tonight.
We sure have some quality pitchers out here tonight, and they've really shut down pretty good hitters in this ball game, and some of the veteran hitters have really been overmatched in this game. But it's veteran hitters like Joe Vitiello and Midray Cummings that rose to the occasion and delivered big hits for their ball club, and it was only a pass ball that had allowed this game to be tied.
Scott Atchison still on the mound. We thought it might be his teammate George Sherrill from Tacoma, who is the only pitcher who has not pitched. Maybe they'll get another out or 2 from Atchison, or we've also heard rumors the last couple of days that Sherrill could be going up. So maybe Seattle called and said, don't put Sherrill or Jacobson in the game. We're just speculating. Lou Collier is gone all the way in left field and is 0 for 3.
Well, the Mariners had made a few roster changes, and they designated Rich Aurelia for assignment last weekend. And kind of
a terrible year for them.
Yeah, it's been a really disappointing season for the Mariners.
Collier out on the bounding ball down to Steve Neal at first. Well, just like in the major leagues a couple of years ago, Buck, the possibility of an all-star game tie, and when they announced before the 10th inning that the rules are just 1 extra inning and then the game's over, the fans here booed.
Yeah.
But nothing like what we saw in Milwaukee. These folks are used to some long nights. They were here Monday night till about midnight with the home run derby and all the other activities. Great night downtown. They got into the late night hours in downtown Providence last night, and an extra inning ball game here tonight at the Real McCoy. Zell hits at the second. Dallimore throws him out, and we are 1 out away from a very well-pitched tie.
Well, if you're used to seeing a ball game that went 33 innings, I guess you would boo when they announced that it's only going 10.
Yeah, these guys are wimps. There's a history here, playing into the wee hours of the morning and then continuing the game 2 months later. Only 11 hits combined in nearly 10 full innings. Atchison has pitched an inning and 2/3 of perfect relief. Here's Andy Phillips from the Columbus Clippers with a chance to be a hero. One of the great franchises in AAA baseball, the Columbus Clippers. And he hits one high in the air, deep in left center, and gone. What an ending. Phillips, the infielder out of the University of Alabama, New York Yankees property, sends this International League crowd home happy with the game literally down to its last out no matter what. He rips one out of here in deep left center field to win the ball game for the International League.
And Scott Atchison knew it as soon as he let go of it, a hanging breaking ball, and Andy Phillips celebrates, and this will give you a good look at the high drive to left center. And it's a dramatic home run for the International League. And look at the entire team out there to greet Andy Phillips at home plate. You tell me these kids don't care about this game? A very entertaining, well-played game.
And what a thrill for Andy Phillips out of the University of Alabama. He's standing by with Kyle Peterson.
Thank you, Sean. Andy Phillips. All right, 2 outs, 10th. This is it. If nobody scores, you step to the bat. What's going through your mind when you get up there that time?
Well, honestly, after the first at bat I had, I just wanted to make contact. But fortunately, you know, I got a decent pitch to hit, a hanging slider. If Midre hadn't come out with his acrobatics, we'd have never been in that position, so it was a lot of fun.
Did you know you got him right when you hit it?
Yeah, I felt pretty good off the bat, so I felt like I'd gotten the best of that ball.
It's your second year at Columbus. Now you get a chance to be a AAA All-Star. How's this entire week been for you?
Man, this has been a blast, and I just, you know, I give all the honor to Christ for giving me this opportunity, man, to play this game and to, you know, coming through an injury last year, and for him to just be able to put me in this position so I can honor him, and I just give the praise to him.
Andy Phillips, we appreciate it. Congratulations.
Thank you. Love you, babe.
Guys.
Andy Phillips, who was a AA All-Star at Norwich, a AAA All-Star with Columbus, and the hero tonight. All the runs for Buddy Bailey's International League team on homers by Joe Vitiello, a 2-run blast. Midre Cummings, then the winner by Andy Phillips. Makes the winner out of Matt Whiteside, and Atchison, who hadn't allowed a ball out of the infield in an inning and 2/3, took the loss. And Buck, a very entertaining game.
Absolutely a well-played game and a dramatic finish with Andy Phillips going deep. Matt Whiteside did a heck of a job coming in with second and third and got out of that situation in the ninth.
Once again, the final score, the International League 4 and the Pacific Coast League 3. The 2004 Century 21 Home Run Derby coming up next. Now for Buck Martinez, Kyle Peterson, and our crew, Sean McDonough, saying so long from beautiful Pawtucket, Rhode Island. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. A great show in Rhode Island. Good night, everyone.